You're watching Force 13's live streaming service. Alright, things are running extremely slowly at Force 13 HQ. For some reason, nothing is playing correctly, and in a minute we'll have the music play. There we go. That is a ridiculous start. Good evening, this is Force 13 Live, and it is the countdown to the Atlantic hurricane season. If you thought your stream was glitched up, it was actually at our end because something strange is going on here at Force 13 HQ. We must be on the blink. My name is Nathan Foy, and we'll be talking to you tonight about all kinds of things and having all kinds of shenanigans along the way. And we've got a large team about us as well to be discussing everything that needs to be discussed. You briefly saw at the very beginning there the National Hurricane Center page, which has an area of interest which has a 30% chance of forming over the Yucatan Peninsula. That's a tropical weather outlook that was issued just before the start of hurricane season, and we'll get regular ones coming up, they say, at 2 a.m. Eastern Time. Alright, after that great start, let's bring in the team. And who have we got tonight? Everyone.
A lot of people.
Yeah. Too many people.
Technically.
And that was a crazy voice there as well. Alright, I'm just trying to fiddle with some volume things here because some people are a little low, some people are a little high. Let's start with the most regular face that we'll probably ever see here at Force 13, and that is the veteran David Tones. How are you, David? Good morning.
Good morning, good evening. Welcome to the viewers. We're also simulcasting live onto the Facebook page, and I'm looking forward to the hurricane season.
We've already got a development in the comment section tonight. We'll be taking any questions that you've got, by the way, for anything at all, really. Strat is in there. Under the name Tropical Storm 4213. His old account.
Boy.
When he was very young. That's great. Lots of comments coming through already, but if you have any in particular for us, tag Force 13 all in text. We've got all kinds of things going on tonight. We're going to have Guess the Storm in the second hour, which I think we'll be delighted to hear about. And then, of course, in 2 hours' time, it's going to be the actual countdown to the Atlantic hurricane season on the universal clock. Of course, you can see down the bottom left there, it is currently 10:03. All right, Thomas, hello, good evening.
Good evening, Nathan. How are you doing?
We're fine, apart from that very glitchy start, but we'll let that fall behind us now. Ryan, you're also on board.
Yes, I am.
Good afternoon to you. Nice of you to join us. We also have Mike in Florida. Over there somewhere.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. We also have Cosmo on board this evening.
Yes. I'm just a random guy they found.
A new guy that we found, and all will become clear later on tonight why we've got a few newbies on board. Although it is nice to begin with that is the case. Can we hear from Cooper?
Hello. Hoping you hear me and not a radio.
Yeah, that might have problems, but it's nice to see you muting and unmuting yourself, otherwise we'll get into trouble. We also have Sam here.
Hello.
Who is very close to Ryan in Chicago up there.
Yes.
Yep. And
Miles away, literally.
and finally we have Uxinator. Am I not mistaken in that?
You're a bit right. It's Uxinator.
Uxinator.
Yes.
All right. Great. And I think we're US heavy tonight, but there is a few faces that aren't exclusively in the US, so that's fine. All right, let's take a look first of all at this screen share that's being provided by someone showing Thomas showing the system in the Atlantic. Now, this first hour is pretty much whatever happens, we'll do whatever. We will show a few more things as well during this hour because there are some points of interest that we can show you too. But yeah, go ahead with this, your analysis.
So this is very interesting. What we've noticed today, especially, is that we really did, before this imagery, we had very large amounts of convection out in the Atlantic, in the middle of the Atlantic here, that were kind of sheared away from what looks to be this developing area of interest. And what happened was we were kind of left with this tropical wave. And what's happening is this is kind of becoming a boundary between the warm, moist air in the Gulf of Mexico and the dry air in the Caribbean. And that boundary is really starting to create some convection, some thunderstorms over land. That's really how you get it, is these boundaries. That's how you get those developments of storms, especially over land. And that's what we're seeing right now. We've seen this a few times before with developed systems. I know that Harvey really started to, after it had dissipated, blow up over the Yucatan. And that's what we're seeing here. This is by no means going to be a Harvey, a category 4 or 5, if anything.
Hey,
at its
let's
peak.
not make comparisons like that on May 31st. My goodness.
Or Hurricane Michael either.
No. I just said it's not going to be like that. At most,
Still.
it's going to be a tropical storm. At its strongest, it'll probably become, if it does develop, it'll probably have its best chances of development here in the Atlantic, although there's a slight chance this thing could go too far south, which would inhibit development due to the southern side having way too much land interaction for it to get a warm core center. There would be too much air that would be kind of I guess, cooled down and really just messed up because of these mountains down here. So that's my analysis of this. I'm going to give it a 30% to 40% chance of development in the next 5 days.
Interesting how it's got quite a bit of convection over land there, but rumor has it that this is stemming from something that happened in the East Pacific. Is that true or not?
Yes.
Not exactly. I mean, kind of.
I think Ryan said yes there.
Yeah.
I think that this might have been 91E, but I'm not sure.
I mean, if it was, I thought 91E, at least when I looked at it last, looked pretty much dead. It very well might be. We have the disappointment of 92E here. I think
Very
this might be its circulation. And if it is its circulation, it's shear-driven, which is never good news. If you have shear-driven circulation, you're not going to get a hurricane. That just doesn't happen. So,
But up here in the United States, especially, it does cause severe weather and tornadoes.
Yep, it's kind of funny how it works, actually. I mean, severe weather and tornadoes, they usually like a lot of wind shear, but with hurricanes, it's the complete opposite.
it's kind of funny. Tornadoes and hurricanes actually almost need conditions that are the opposite in order to form. In order for a hurricane to form, you need warm waters, while tornadoes form over land. Hurricanes have a warm core center, and we thought until just a year or two ago that tornadoes had a warm core center, but it was discovered recently that tornadoes actually have a cold core. It's cold air that flows into the tornadoes, not warm air. And I know that's bizarre, because you'd think that the hook there, the notch there, would be for that warm inflow. And while there's warm air that just gets sucked up and around the tornado, it's actually the from the rear flank inflow, which is also where the RFD can be, that you would see the actual driving force of the tornado. It's kind of crazy, but that's what they've found.
But you can also get tornadoes in hurricanes. You can get an outbreak from. It is possible to have an outbreak from hurricanes.
Yeah, but that's because tornadic supercells form in the outer bands of the hurricane due to, tension.
There were a couple of supercells associated with Katrina.
Yeah, and then again, there was also Ivan.
Yeah, Ivan, the largest tornado outbreak recorded from a hurricane in history. Almost 120 tornadoes, I think.
118, I'm pretty sure I recall.
Yeah, something crazy like that. Almost what you'd see from like a major tornado outbreak here in the U.S. in the springtime.
Or this long one that we're currently having.
It was exactly 120. It was exactly 120.
Oh, wow. Okay, I was right on.
And we're very thankful for people who are sending in super chats at this time, because we don't have any external funding to run our service here on Force 13, so we do, I wouldn't say rely on this, but it is certainly helpful for us to achieve our goals, especially when we reinvest anything that we do make back into the project to produce these fine graphics and hopefully lots more.
I actually found something quite interesting, and I'm not sure if this is... It looks like it might be, again, a shear-driven rotation, but I'm noticing, while there's a lot of convection exploding up to the north, if you look south here, you can see a circulation here to the south, right along this point.
You think so?
So that... Yeah, I think it's a little bit of circulation there. I mean, if you take a look at it, you can see the clouds moving in pretty circular fashion. So,
oh man,
we'll see.
Thomas,
if that's the beginnings of a circulation. That could be crazy.
Is there any way you can bring up the wind shear graphic?
Yeah, just a minute. I can bring that up. It'll be on a separate tab, so just a minute, David. Can bring that up. I believe it's on CIMSS.
Yes, it is.
It's just a thought when we're looking at the...
Yeah, and you'll notice right now shear's quite low, but it's going to move into higher shear later. The only issue with that could be that if this becomes a well-established low, with the circulation that you can actually also see on this analysis map, so which means it's probably an upper level circulation. But if that gets to the lower levels while it's over the Yucatan, that could mean it could start to control its environment just enough to negate some wind shear, which could help it in the development phase, especially if it goes on the farther southward side of this chart here.
Certainly no future for it further north anyway.
Yeah.
Alright.
And if you look at shear tendencies are going up just north of the storm. It's not really changing, but I think if we look at the 5-day movie, that could be telling.
Some dude spamming in the chat. Okay.
What's that?
Come on.
Nothing.
I did see a comment that it looks awful on Vorticity.
That's true.
It probably does.
850 millibar.
One of our team members, Ethan, wants to know about the sea surface temperatures in the Bay of Campeche where this system could be tracking into. I believe they're pretty warm. Certainly warm enough. Mm-hmm.
So let me look at those.
What are we doing now? Oh, sea surface temperatures.
I'm just pulling up the S&Ps. Yeah, there they are. So yeah, they're about, wow, they're very warm just off the coast. But yeah, where this thing's going, it's going to have plenty of sea surface temperatures. And it looks like wind shear might be low enough for it too. Which means it's really just going to be, is it going to have enough time to... Yeah, it looks like we're getting this low pocket that's very suddenly developed and could push north a little bit. So we'll see. That could help the system out quite a bit.
It's a bit flaky. Yeah. It might just disappear just as quickly as it appeared there, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. The thing is that it's if you go back to the shear itself, it looks like it may have a little bit of a high pressure above it, which could also help for favorability of development. That is, if this, as you said, sustains itself, which it very well may not. But if it does, I think this thing may have a fair shot, actually, at becoming at least a tropical depression. But I have a feeling that this thing getting named is, I'd say about 20% chance right now.
20?
20, yeah.
You said 40% earlier. Is that of being a TD, or...?
Yeah, that was of being a TD.
Alright.
I just don't think it'll have enough time to become a TS. It undergoes rapid intensification, which TDs I don't think do very often.
Yeah, sea surface temperatures don't seem that as warm for any significant tropical development, but still, fairly lukewarm, I would say.
I mean, 29 degrees Celsius is pretty warm.
Yeah.
27, 28. probably like
Some
what
more fine
temperature
imagery there.
usually? Yeah, what temperature is ideal for, like, what is the lowest temperature that's ideal for hurricanes or other tropical cyclones to develop in the ocean?
26, I think, is the line for hurricane development. Although we've seen exceptions like Hurricane
Yeah.
Alex, which had developed
Yes.
in I think it was
Yes.
22 degrees.
Yes.
Yep.
But
That's
that had a lot of baroclinic
And
energy
a lot of
come
people
to it.
remember my words at the time.
Arlene.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wasn't
I was
Arlene
like,
in
whoa,
like?
whoa, whoa.
Wasn't Arlene? Didn't it form
That
in
one
like
as well,
15
yeah.
degrees Celsius?
A bit warmer than
waters or something?
that.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
that's kind of what made it
It looks
Oh,
subtropical.
like
18.
It looks like
I remember
completely
now.
shit
Yeah,
on Vorticity. Like there's
because
there's
that's
literally
kind
nothing
of the
there.
temperature that made it subtropical.
Let's whoever
There's
said
also
that about
Hurricane
Carolina.
Ophelia.
Yeah.
That really kind of started that I probably remembered more for its transition to an extratropical. Would you say that that Ophelia almost pulled like a European Sandy, possibly?
Whoa there, European Sandy?
Yeah, but not as intense. Not as intense.
I have a friend.
What?
Just like Sandy, but nothing like it. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, the only similarity you could see is that it peaked as, I think, a Category 3, and then it became extratropical as it headed into the United Kingdom. But it was,
And it
other
did
than
some
that.
significant damage too.
Yeah, but it wasn't. It didn't become this massive super storm when it comes to its sheer size, nor did it really have the storm surge to
Alright, so
Sandy's
so
degree.
far tonight we've had a very flawed beginning to the stream. We've had a European Sandy, and we've had Strat using his old account in the stream. So things are going to get a lot better here with 1 hour and 42 minutes until the start of the Atlantic hurricane season. I've got a little video prepared here from something that I did earlier today, a little feature for tonight, talking about what we're expecting around the world this year. We did cover it in April when Force 13 released its original predictions, but for those who didn't see it, here's another look with a little bit more visualization on this one, and see what everyone thinks of this when they see it. Hello there, it is the last day of the pre-season in the Atlantic Ocean today. As we enter June the 1st, that is the beginning of the Atlantic hurricane season. And as we've been following for quite a while, we're making predictions on what's coming up this season, and now is the time to tell you, just again to remind you what is on the cards. In the Atlantic we are expecting 13 named storms according to my screen here, 7 hurricanes and 3 major hurricanes. There is a fairly decent chance of it being above average as well, but we can't commit to that confidence at this stage. Now in the Eastern Pacific we are expecting 17 tropical storms according to our April forecast, 9 hurricanes and 4 major hurricanes. Now there is a possibility that could go above average as well looking at the current patterns, but at the minute we're sticking with those numbers unless we put out a new forecast in the future. Those again are April forecast numbers, and out in the Western Pacific we're expecting 27 named storms, 14 typhoons and 10 major typhoons, that's category 3 or higher. And of course in the Western Pacific we do expect every so often to get a super typhoon, quite possibly a category 5. So those are the numbers that we're expecting in the main 3 basins in the Northern Hemisphere this year. Of course we've already had subtropical storm Andrea. Now as we take a look on our board here, you can see what's expected in terms of the aerial coverage for this year. In the Atlantic, we're really, our main area of concern in America, in the United States at least, is the areas in the deep south, so Mississippi, Alabama, along there, statistically the highest chance, one of the highest chances of tropical storm conditions this year, along with a sizable swathe of the east coast, extending from just about to South Carolina all the way up towards the outer banks of North Carolina and maybe into southern Virginia. So if you look at those areas of potential impacts, we're really looking towards those storm tracks that could cause that kind of impact. So generally we're looking at maybe things coming from the Caribbean area or just north of the Caribbean islands, coming from the main development region of the Atlantic, sweeping up towards the US East Coast. And also Gulf of Mexico formations perhaps, but also the possibility for storms tracking from the Atlantic main development region through the Caribbean and then up towards the Gulf Coast. So we could be talking about maybe a Hurricane Allen, although I wouldn't say that the final part of that storm would be particularly likely. What might be more likely this year is a Hurricane Ivan, that one of course being one of the very strong storms and one of the most impactful storms in 2004. The decent analogues this year, there aren't really any that are very good standing out, but some of the best analogues at the minute, 2017, believe it or not, and 2005. Now let's not panic just yet, because 2005 is a very, very distant second, very distant. But we could be seeing something like that developing this year. Of course, it could be like one of the other active seasons that we've had in the past where all the storms miss, like a 2010, even though not all of them missed, of course, but the lion's share of storms did miss the US. Another decent analogue from the past is 1995, particularly in the Atlantic, not so much around the world, but the Atlantic had a warm pool in the central to northern Atlantic towards the Azores in 1995, just as it does this year so far, and a cooler pool off towards the north, towards the Atlantic Canada region. So that is something interesting to note for the Atlantic at least. Alright, let's look towards the Eastern Pacific as I load it up here. Obviously the tracks are much more easier to predict over there in the Eastern Pacific, but we are expecting a particularly high chance, elevated chance of storm conditions to be impacting the Baja California region, particularly Baja California Sur, obviously, because that sticks south a little bit more than further north, but we could be seeing some major hurricane impacts on that region possibly this year. Apart from that, nothing really notable. Perhaps we'll be seeing some long tracking storms that stay out at sea and a very small chance of hurricane or tropical storm impacts in Hawaii. Looking towards the Western Pacific, obviously that is something we're going to be watching closely too this year. The main areas that we've got on our table at the minute is obviously the northern part of the Philippines. It's a hotspot anyway, but this year more so, and for storms to continue through towards southern China, towards Hainan and northern Vietnam in particular. Further north, we're looking for potential storm tracks to take storms into southern Taiwan, possibly further north maybe, but that could be another significant storm track for this year, and also potential storms striking Japan from the south, curving up towards Kyushu and then up towards the northeast. If we look at the map here, you can see the highest chances of typhoon conditions this year will be in, but even more so than average this year, we could be seeing some major typhoon impacts. So that is a look at what is going on this year, what we're expecting, and let's not forget, June 1st, it's the start of the Atlantic hurricane season. It doesn't magically mean that storms will form en masse. It could take a little while before we see our next system, which will be named Barry. Indeed it will, and that is what we are currently looking out for. And could Barry come out of this system that we're watching in the Atlantic towards the Bay of Campeche over the Yucatan Peninsula? Let's see if we can get anyone else's opinion on this. Ryan, I heard your voice just then.
I don't think it's going to develop. It's just... I don't know, but you know what? I was proven wrong with Andrea. So it might develop.
Ryan says
all right.
no.
Why are we drawing huge lines now?
All right, I'm gonna throw out my opinion on this
Ryan's rejection.
tropical system.
Hold on. Who's who here?
Okay, so I do believe that I believe Omega is clearly going to happen.
Oh, of course.
We should all endorse it.
No.
Endorse this brilliant prediction.
Well, well, if you ask some people who submitted hypothetical hurricane seasons to Force 13 a few years ago, yeah, you might be right. Yuxinator, I think it's you who's wanting to speak now.
Yes. So
actually,
I'm
I remember that. It was ridiculous.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to talk about Barry. well, the potential for berry, I guess. I think that it will become berry. Basically, I think that I think it will definitely have time to develop, and I think it. I mean, I don't think it'll be powerful or anything. Like, I think it could just be like a small tropical storm for like a few days, and it'll just dissipate.
Yeah, if it does form, it's just gonna dissipate. It's just gonna form and then die. Probably gonna be like, I don't know, what storm would it be like? Maybe like I'm thinking like a Brett or a Gert of 2005, something like that.
A few things I want to clarify that was discussed in that video package just before. So we brung up the examples of Alan and Ivan. That would be a worst case scenario to get any systems like that this year, but it certainly isn't out of the question. And the same too for those comparisons that we're putting up on the board. 2017, 2005 and 1995. They are the closest comparisons, but it's still quite far away from where we're at this year so far. I wonder what you guys think about what year we're most comparable to or will be throughout the year, because things do change as we go along.
I mean, like you said, I mean, we have the fair analogs of 2017 and 2005, which I do agree are the best years, but they're still not very good. I mean, this season will not be overly comparable to any particular year in the books. I mean, what's really going to have to happen is we're going to have to take a closer look at the time really goes on. But if we take a look at sea surface temperature anomalies now, and we were to make a prediction based off of those and those alone, no model guidance, no really anything, we'd have the Bermuda High probably on the northern side of things, the Azores High, the Bermuda High to the south, and we'd have the MDR just looking cool, which means it's going to be hard for these storms to make it through the MDR. Number one, just because it's cooler than average, but number two, if this El Nino holds up, we're going to have lots and lots of shear here as this does rotate in a clockwise fashion.
Can we think of
trades going to the Atlantic?
Can we think of a recent year that this is a complete polar opposite to, or is likely to be?
If you just look at the SST profile, other than the El Nino, the Atlantic looked completely different in 2015, other than the El Nino.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So we're saying diametrically opposed to 2015?
No, except El Nino. Obviously, there was a super El Nino in 2015, which isn't the diametric opposite. But the Atlantic was mostly very warm in that year.
Right. Yeah, it is interesting to see there are a few cool areas in the Atlantic at the minute, especially in the tropical zone.
Yeah, the MDR especially.
Yeah, although in 2018, this year in 2018, last year it was actually cooler.
Oh yeah, it was almost record cold at this time last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
And then you've got that very interesting cold pool over there off the eastern Pacific, off the Mexico coast.
Yeah.
Wow. It's interesting. I didn't know that was there.
That could become a interesting development, and I honestly think that if this were to influence systems or high pressure kind of thing, we could really see this.
Gee, when was the last time we saw blues like that in that area?
I don't know, but if this does become indicative of higher pressure being more favorable here, this will warm itself up.
And we do need to remind people, Thomas, don't we, that these are anomalies. They aren't the actual temperatures like the blues mean it's absolutely freezing and icing over. They're still warm enough in some areas to sustain a tropical cyclone despite being below average.
Certainly.
Yeah, most of the time that's going to be the case.
I mean, like, if we look at the Atlantic if we look at the worldwide map in full, not anomalies, but just in general, we can see that tropical cyclones aren't going to be very well sustained here. Although that'll change with time. But the Atlantic, despite the below average MDR, still has quite the tongue of warm water on its southern side. The northern side will as well.
All the warm water is in the West Pacific and the Indian Ocean.
Yeah, the Caribbean, stuff like that going on. Yes, it is.
Where Invest 92A is right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
out in the Arabian Sea. I haven't actually looked at that as much as I should have. I need to
All right,
really analyze
get that
it.
onto your screen whilst we take another look here at the system over the Yucatan Peninsula. There it is, 20% chance in the next 2 days, 30% chance in the next 5 days, according to the National Hurricane Center. They'll be doing their next update with the first regular tropical weather outlook at 2 a.m. Eastern Time tonight. The current time is 10:30 p.m. UTC, which means that on the universal clock, it's hurricane season in 90 minutes. Make that 89 now, so we are ticking down pretty quickly here on Force 13, and we're live with you, just chilling out, really, I guess. And
Yeah, right now.
there's
right
the
now.
storm coming up in half an hour. You don't want to miss that.
Yep. So, as we were talking about earlier, we were talking about the basically the tornadoes that have been happening like over this past like 2 weeks span.
Yeah.
And what was interesting about them is that I think that there are what's it called? I think that obviously the Linwood one, like I saw it live when it was happening. It could be an EF5, but I don't think it will be because there wasn't too much that was like signifying of that. But there was one recently that was upgrade to EF4 as well. The one that struck
Dave.
in, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that it's definitely a comparable year compared to like 2013 maybe. But like there were no EF5s, which I still think is odd. So,
Say compared to 13?
2013.
2013 tornado-wise.
Like I think like no, I meant like the count this month.
All right, someone just came up with comment of the night. I think 2019 is the top analog for 2019. That's about right.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, they're not wrong, are they?
No. Now we're looking at Invest 92A on the screen.
Because any season is identical to itself, so any season is the exact perfect analog of itself.
An interesting question there. Is there a hurricane named Katrina? Well, there is, but not right now. Don't worry.
Yeah, no, not anytime soon. I don't think there will be.
Alright, let's talk about Invest 92A. This is the other system that's active. The tropics have been pretty quiet recently around the world. This is the best that we're going to see right now, at least tonight. Who'd like to talk about it?
I guess I will. So, first of all, unless someone else wants to, but
Go ahead.
so I'll talk about it. So, we're looking at this blob, this mess. Although it's not as much of a mess as our good friend in the Atlantic, but I mean it's got a well-defined circulation over land, of course. But I think it's going to have that short period of time to develop into something, and we've seen storms in the Arabian Sea develop really rapidly. Honestly, we've seen storms that, if they were really in any other basin, would not be capable of doing that, with the exception of the Western Pacific in rare cases. But we've seen storms in this basin in particular be able to just explode, and this definitely has the potential to do that. I'm not 100% sure if that's what's going to happen, but if we take a look at forecast models, I know the GFS has it.
92A.
Yes, so if you can see it shows something very similar, which is a good sign that it does have at least a little bit of accuracy, that convection is biased to the southern side of the storm.
Yes.
So it does have that going for it, and it basically shows it dying.
Well, there it goes. It's not going to do
much
anything that
what it
storms have done in
shows.
recent years, by the looks of things.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much reason for it
But
to.
why?
It's right over
Wind shear,
land.
is it, or?
I think, it just gets sheared away. The convection just goes. It might even be nocturnal cooling is enough to kill it. I mean, it's very weak at this point. So, I mean, any of these things, really. I mean, unless the GFS just went crazy and this could
Yeah.
develop. Yeah, it doesn't
Possible.
look like it has any. Yeah, I think shear might kill it. I'll look in some basins
Alright.
for just a minute.
There's another look at the Atlantic system here, and very little to talk about really apart from these two systems, which later in the season we'll be throwing out invests. They're not interesting anymore. We've got 10 other storms active.
Yep. Basically, it's. I mean, if you think like at the peak of the season, we're gonna have like, I don't know, like 5 named storms at once, maybe even all of those being like Cat 1
I mean,
plus.
it is a
something.
part of some people's culture in hurricane circles to run around like headless chickens at the start of hurricane season when they see their first invest or their first storm.
Oh yes.
Yep. It
Oh
is.
boy, I sure do love my
I
invest.
love like back in like I think it was like when Irma or Harvey hit. I remember seeing these tweets about like people literally just running around in the storms, like just like wakeboarding or like just some of the weirdest stuff I've ever seen. And like how modern day society perceives these storms, like most people perceive these really well and actually like get out of the way if like the storm's like in their way. But but then there's these people who just think that it's nothing, so they just go out and like do the most stupid stuff.
And die.
Well,
Yeah.
one way of putting it. Let's get some viewer engagement and take some questions now. What are the chances of a Katrina-like storm forming in the southern Atlantic again?
I don't know. I mean, if you're talking this season, no. Already over. Talking in the future, I don't know.
Helpful.
Yeah.
Another question, unless there's another answer there. No?
Very high, clearly.
At some
Clearly
point in the
100%.
future.
Yes, yeah. No, it will be. It will be 100% at some point in the future. Because if it's happened before, it will happen again. So 100%.
Quite possible. Alright,
You didn't bound your question.
let's take some more questions. There's been rumours that El Nino will be very weak to non-existent this summer. And our thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's really looking like it's going to be mostly a neutral for Enzo, at least from what I'm seeing. Yeah, I don't think that there's going to be an El Nino, and if there is, it's going to be very weak.
Yeah. I mean, right now in Florida, it's been scorching. It's been really scorching, like hot, and it's gone to like 100 degrees, like at the expense of them having their severe weather. The southeast has been really hot, so I think that that's definitely been like part of the factors that influenced it.
Another question here. Has a storm ever formed in the Atlantic and dissipated in the Asian, they say, but Western Pacific is the real name that we usually go by? I would certainly say it's theoretically possible, but it hasn't happened yet, not at least under our nose.
Yeah, I know there's been storms that have gone from the Atlantic to the Pacific, I believe.
The Eastern Pacific.
Eastern Pacific, yeah.
Yeah, Eastern, not Western, I know that.
Central.
Possibly.
Has any of them crossed into the Central? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No, not
Probably not.
I'll look it up.
Is it
I
true
don't
that
think
after
so.
both normal and Greek names we use Latin names? Well, don't worry, I don't think we're going to get up to... How many would that be? It must be knocking on 50 storms.
45.
45.
Alright. Don't
Something
think
like
that's
that.
going to happen unless you're in the Western Pacific, and they have different ways. Don't worry about that. What else do we have here? Will the North Indian Ocean be active? Well, by North Indian Ocean standards, you could say it's already been active.
It's already been above average just from Fani alone, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Category 5 in the North Indian.
There's a bunch more that
Here's something I want to start a debate about, though. Do you guys think that there will ever do you think that there will ever be like a category 6 cat?
Oh.
Well, it doesn't exist.
No, I was trying to say, do you think that that'll ever become a thing? Like a category 6,
Think that'll be
just
introduced?
the general thought.
It wouldn't surprise me if
I
some
think it should
some
be
people in news
necessary.
media wanted to put in a category 6 so they get extra ratings.
It's redundant though. Like a category 6 is redundant.
Yeah, I
Because
know.
the levels of damage that you're reaching at those intensity.
Like basically, it'd have to be apocalyptic. It'd have to be. I think it would have to be apocalyptic damage or apocalyptic.
What's
like?
And I mean, honestly, category 5s. We've seen category 5s do anything from
Yeah,
normal
Patricia.
damage
Yeah,
to next to none.
Patricia.
So that's why,
Patricia
like,
was 200 miles per hour, and that's still category 5.
Let's
I mean, like,
move on.
CDPS, I feel like CDPS is better for
True.
unfortunately.
Let's move on to what they have
I
here.
think CDPS is a better option than Sapper Simpson for damage potential.
When was the last time?
Sapper Simpson is
Hold on.
simpler, and the media can hype it easier.
Well, that's true. When was the last time a pinhole eye formed in an Atlantic hurricane? That's another question we've received.
Oh boy, Super Cyclo Challenge question.
I suppose it could be. It isn't.
I suppose you consider barrel.
Barrel.
You
could.
Barrel
you
had a
could.
big one.
Ooh, I got a good one. So someone asked, how active do you all think the golf will be this year?
I'd say a little above average, slightly.
I think it could be pretty active.
Yeah, I think that like maybe this month, I think there's a chance of it being active. I think.
I respectfully disagree with high activity in the golf. I think.
Well, not high activity this month, but I think there will be activity in the golf this month.
I think moderate activity is very likely.
It's going to be much more favorable in the Eastern Gulf. I think the odds of a storm developing in the Gulf are very low. I think the odds of a storm heading into the Gulf and being able to strengthen and really ramp up in the Gulf are relatively high. But I think that favorability of development of storms, especially in the Western Gulf, is going to be difficult this season, as, for example, our new invested Atlantic to have to overcome.
I think if an unfortunate Gulf Coast landfall is possible, I think development could be seen in the Southern Caribbean and then move into the Gulf.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get a big one through the Caribbean at some point this year.
I mean, there usually is.
It could be a big Caribbean.
I mean, let's not expect a Wilma this year.
Well,
No,
I
not.
don't think we're going to get a
Negative or don't expect the Michael either.
No, Michael was an anomaly.
The chances of a Wilma happening again are very low. Well, for this year at least.
Yeah, Michael was. It's just it's a fluke, like Hyan and Patricia.
Well, according to the viewers, it's still question time, so we're going to take some more here. Why don't they rename hurricanes when they cross from the Atlantic to the Pacific anymore? Well, they decided to do that, to change that rule quite a while ago now. I think it was in 2000 or 2001 sometime then, where they decided to stop doing double-barreled names from the Atlantic to the Pacific. So that's how it is now.
Yeah, they
I think
did
that's
it
to
because...
reduce confusion.
Yeah, it was just too confusing for a storm to have two names. Like, you know, it was just weird.
Do you agree with me, says Justin the Weather Boy, that Barry will be 40 miles an hour but weak?
I don't even know.
Well, this might not be Barry, so, you know, who knows? Could be a Category 5 in August.
It should have been Arlene, in my opinion.
Hey?
What do you mean?
Oh.
I mean...
You don't think Arlene
yes.
should have existed? Arlene?
I meant Andrea.
Yes.
Andrea.
I fell into your trap. Andrea, yes. Well, we did do a poll on Force 13, or... No, I think I did it on my personal Twitter, actually, whether Andrea was a waste of a name, and I think it was 55% said yes? I can't remember now.
But Andrea
it was a close one.
But I mean, come on.
Yeah,
55%.
55% said yes. I was one of the ones. I was one of the ones that said no.
Center with subtropical convection.
I was
If
one of the
that is
ones
not
that
the
said.
definition of
I was one of the ones that said no, Thomas. So I'm with you on that one.
That's good to know.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was a storm of some sort. I mean, yeah, it was a pretty stupid storm.
It was 54.
Yeah.
Yep.
We go with the
It
insults
only
again.
lasted-
There
only
were even
lasted-
storms in the U.S. that were more powerful than this storm.
Yeah, but you know what's even bigger embarrassment? The the so-called South
Oh.
Atlantic Jaguar.
Jaguar.
What's even
Jaguar.
worse? We did a poll here on Force
the
13
Jaguar.
on the Force 13 channel about
No.
that, whether that one deserved to be a storm, and unfortunately, over 80% of you said yes, and I can't fathom
Doesn't
why.
make it.
How can you say Andrea is
A
not
line of
a storm? How can you say Andrea is not a storm and Jaguar is?
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Jaguar was a front.
Yeah, exactly. Like what?
Jaguar was a dry line triggered frontal boundary.
That's
Yeah.
not a cyclone.
Clearly, the Brazilians were high when they were when they had
Okay.
when they were forecasting the so-called Jaguar.
Right, what else do we have? Will the area over the Yucatan become an invest before the end of the stream? Maybe that's something we could do a poll about now.
Whoa! Wow! I wonder.
No,
is that an
no,
invest?
no, no.
Well, it
Yeah,
depends
sorry.
on. It depends on when the stream ends.
We're ending tonight at 1 a.m. UTC.
1 a.m. UTC. Well, if the ATCF comes out, the 0Z ATCF, and it could tag it as an invest, but I don't know. It's a possibility.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah. Oof. Either way,
It's just-
I asked David.
Question.
Oh.
Here's
Yes,
this question. How bad was the Saharan dust last hurricane season
I
compared to
believe-
other years?
I believe it was bad at first and got a lot better later. I think the reason why Irma wasn't able in 17 really blow up at first was because of that Saharan dust, and I think when it got that out of its eye wall and it stopped replacing itself over and over again, it was able to Category 5 monstrosity that we all know it to be now.
Here's another one. Do you think Jose from 2017 was a Cat 5?
No.
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 No, it was barely even a Cat 4.
Excuse me.
I kind of agree.
What?
No,
Bit more.
it was
It was-
well within Cat 4.
Moderate Category 4.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
I agree with
moderate
one
Cat
Cat
Here's
5.
another one. Here's another one. What is your
150 from Field.
least favorite Atlantic hurricane names? Now,
Mindy.
Colin.
we might be insulting people here.
Orion.
Mindy.
I don't know. I don't know.
Imelda. I don't
I'm
know
not a
anyone
fan of
named Imelda.
Isaías.
Mindy reminds me of vomit.
Imelda, I've
Okay.
never heard of anyone named Imelda, so.
I've never
Imelda's
really
a
been a fan
Spanish name.
I've never really
No.
been a fan of
I've never heard anyone named Imelda, anyways. I've heard people named every other name here.
Not
Really?
even Mindy.
Yeah.
I've never heard someone called Isaías.
Isaiah. That's Isaiah.
Oh, it's a Zayas?
Yeah,
Orion
it's
doesn't
Isaiah.
sound like a good name either.
Isaias? I thought it was
I prefer
Isaías or some
I would rather
crazy
name it Isaiah.
Here we go.
Isaias. Okay, that maybe that makes more sense.
Maybe. When will we see another Hurricane Audrey? What a strange question.
Never, because I think you're talking about like a major hurricane making the landfall.
Major
in
hurricane
June or
landfall in June in the Gulf Coast, yeah.
something. I don't know.
Not happening.
Isaias.
I mean, technically it has a chance of happening this year, but those chances are very low, especially since, like I said, favorability in the Gulf, especially right now, is not very good for storm development. But, I mean, technically we don't know, so I can't really give you an answer.
155 miles an hour. What the heck?
What is?
I was just looking at an article on Jose. I didn't realize it was that strong. Whoop! I'm gonna change my opinion on what I just said earlier.
Well, No, I'm not going to say that. I might spoil something. I was just thinking about other 155 mile an hour storms. Now on the screen, we're again looking at part of the Atlantic where that system is, and it's really been blowing up in those later frames. Light is fading over the region, and we're keeping our eyes on that at this time. But as I said, as I build it at the start of tonight, this is the countdown to the 2019 Atlantic hurricane season, which now begins in 69 minutes now. And we've got, I guess, a storm coming up and just general tomfoolery.
Yep.
Tom.
Yes, over to you, Tom.
Okay. Well, now you're on my screen share, and
Yes,
my
we are.
computer's crashing.
Oh.
But you know what? That's okay. So while this is loading, let's not load the new page, because we're going to talk about the Enzo region, because why not?
Enzo.
So this is the Enzo region right now. And this is the CFS V2. CFS has actually proved to be quite accurate. And it really does support the theory that I and I think a variety of other people have, that the Enzo region is going to remain relatively neutral with a positive bias. So it's going to be leaning El Nino, but not actually be El Nino.
Oh, hey, people
Or if
are
it
now
is, it'll be
talking
weak.
about... This is interesting. I don't think we've actually discussed it here on air. The Hurricane Florence upgrade.
Oh gosh.
What was
150.
Florence upgraded to?
Upgraded.
150. It was a stupid upgrade. It should have been
It was.
145.
It was a stupid upgrade.
Yeah.
I think 150 can be justified.
Oh, come on.
Maybe.
I think they should have gone with 145.
145. I'd agree with.
I mean, it's a
that
5 mile an hour
413,
difference.
is that
Come on,
413,
Hurricane Michael's upgrade was a 5 mile an hour difference.
Yeah, I
and
don't
that
think
was a
anyone
huge
missed the
deal.
Hurricane Michael upgrade. That was a great upgrade,
No.
by the way. Completely in agreement.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's 5 miles an hour.
agreed with
It's not.
our-
It's within the margin of error, really.
Yeah, and really, it's still the same category. Like, it's still Category 4 storm. So, like, what's the difference? Other than,
Still,
like 5 miles an hour.
it's outrageous.
whatever you say.
This is an
Nathan.
outrage. We all suck. Yes.
We will start a protest. No, you know, it's not outside the realms of possibility. I still don't know where they went with Joaquin though.
Joaquin.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's definitely.
155 for Joaquin. Like, what the heck?
Joaquin did look good. but
Ethan
it didn't
thinks
look
you're a
that
fool,
good.
Thomas.
Well,
For the 150 on Florence?
Yes.
Of course he does. He's Ethan. Ethan has such wonderful analysis. If you guys join our Discord server, you can see his analysis.
Oh, that's a great plug. You can join our Discord server. We are growing quite a lot in members on there. You can, is it underneath the... Yes, underneath our live stream right now, there is a bunch of links, and the bottom one is our Discord server. So if you have Discord, you can join the server. And we find out just a little bit about you, and then we put you through. So
yeah, exactly, and that's where we just talked about a certain a tornado that happened in Chile yesterday.
Yes.
and that's where the shenanigans continue 24/7. If you can't get enough of these streams, of course we will be much more serious when we actually get into the nitty-gritty of hurricane season, but for the time being, it is our hurricane party night.
I guess you could say that. Yeah.
Then again, no. Okay, so someone mentioned this. Hurricane Igor in 2010, $200.5 million in damages, and it was retired. While Hurricane Emily in 2005 had $1.01 billion in damages and 17 deaths and reached Category 5, but it was not retired as a name. And, I mean, it was 2005.
Hurricane Claus did like $1 million and it was retired, so...
There's a few... I was looking at the least retirable storms that got retired, and I think also up there was Greta in 1978, because even though it was very strong, it didn't actually do that much, at least compared to other storms.
Yeah, Hurricane Emily honestly does deserve to be retired. Like, that, I don't know why that's still there.
I don't know.
I mean, the only
think it
reason
should be
why...
retired.
The only reason why I think it's still there is because it was in 2005, and I mean, there were just a lot of storms in 2005. That
They
were really bad.
retired. They
Yeah.
used up all. They didn't want to retire too many names. They just chose the 5 most notable storms
Yeah.
of the season.
Yeah.
Out they went.
Why do they retire Greek alphabet storms when they are gonna have to use that again if they go into the Greek alphabet?
I don't know.
That's
It's
mildly stupid.
Pretty stupid. In my
Wait,
opinion.
they actually retired a Greek name.
No,
I think
they
so.
haven't.
No,
No,
but
they
what if
haven't.
they do?
Beta was
I think
pretty
they did.
devastating.
Didn't Hurricane Beta do something?
Hey, a few what might have been Atlantic storm names got retired. Hey, that's another plug. The Western Pacific what might have beens. Not everyone knows this, but Western Pacific what might have been series is starting in June. We're happy to announce. So look out for that. We're going to be taking a short break here at Force 13 HQ. We're going to be back at the start of the next hour with Guess the Storm. We've also got loads of other things coming up as well tonight. Obviously the countdown itself. A tropical weather bulletin at midnight UTC on the dot. No John, unfortunately.
No shot.
Sorry about that. And also at midnight, we are launching a new website. And 1 o'clock UTC, I think it is, if I'm not mistaken. I hope I'm right on that. We're going to be seeing, at the very end of our stream tonight, the first Southern Hemisphere animation looking back at 2018-19. The first full season animation coming out tonight. So look forward to that. We'll be back in a few minutes with Guess the Storm. Stay tuned, you don't want to miss this. Hopefully Strat doesn't get involved. Our live coverage continues in a moment. You can follow Force 13's outlets, the website, force13.com, our YouTube page, youtube.com/Force13, on Facebook under the same name, Force13, and our Twitter handle, it's @Force13 if you wish to get in touch. You can also add Force13 on Skype, and my personal account on Discord, Fool13, at extension 9094. You're watching Force 13's live streaming service. It's 11 o'clock on the Universal time. Just 1 hour until the Atlantic hurricane season begins and the end of our countdown is reached. That's on the Universal clock at least. Of course, still a few more hours to go on the US East Coast and beyond. But we are using Universal time here. Well, let's bring back the team. And also, people have been sending in tons of questions. But I think we're going to have to move on at this point, although I'd love to have answered all the questions. If you do have any real urgent business that you'd like to bring to our attention, send a message to my email address, contact@force13.com. Team, welcome back.
Hello.
It's now Guess the Storm Hour, and I'm not sure how this is going to go.
So, do we want to pick teams?
This is pretty crazy. What we realized, or decided, after recent live streams, because there are so many people who get involved, and Strat's just sitting there reading out everyone's guess, and we just got to sit here slumped and think, can we put our guess out yet? So we've decided to simplify things a bit. We're still going to be looking, or I'll be looking at all the viewer contributions and pointing out anyone who got it right before the teams did, but we're now going to have two separate teams. We've got one team representing Force 13 and another one in our room right now representing the viewers. That's why there's some new faces that you've not heard from before, because they will be representing the viewers, I think. Or we could just throw it all around and just people can pick people at random. Why don't we just do that instead? It will make things more interesting.
So who's going to be our team leaders?
I am putting Thomas in charge of the team, the Force 13 team, because I'm not playing. I've got to moderate. And who should we put in charge of the viewers, Thomas?
We'll do Samuel.
Samuel.
Ooh.
Alright, so I make my first pick, and then Samuel, you pick, and we pick back
Hold on a
and forth
minute.
until we're done.
We're going to have to flip a coin or something, aren't we?
Sure.
I haven't got any coins in here.
Here, I'll get a
Anyone
coin
got a coin?
flip on my computer.
It's going well.
I have like 5
Alright,
coins.
so I guess I just look at.
I have a coin right
chat.
next. Oh wait, never mind.
You're going to lie about it. No, we can't do this. We're going to have to find a real coin.
Here we go. This is an actual coin flipper.
Oh,
on
no.
board.
An online coin. This is great.
Alright, so
Fine.
Samuel, what are you going to pick? Heads or tails?
Tails.
Alright, let's flip it.
This is outrageous.
It's tails.
It's tails.
There we go, Samuel. So you get the first pick.
Technically,
Alright.
there's a 50% chance he isn't lying.
Alright, so should I just upload an image then?
What? No, you get to pick
No,
your
you're
first
a
team
team
member.
leader, so you pick someone to be on your
Oh.
team.
I pick Ryan.
Oh, I knew you were gonna do that.
Okay.
Alright, well, Alright, I'm gonna pick... we'll pick...
This isn't supposed to
I'm
last the whole hour, you know.
I'll pick Cyclone Freak
Mike.
on my team.
Well, okay.
Alright, you're on my team, man. Alright, Samuel, your pick.
I choose Cosmo.
Cosmo.
Hello. Yes, okay.
Alright, I choose Cooper.
Okay.
Happy to be on board.
Alright, there we go. Which means Samuel.
You get left with the guy who's.
You can't pick me.
Okay. Okay, so it's 3-3. It's actually 3-4, but you know, it's cool. Alright, Isaac. Let it rip.
Who's picking next?
Oh,
is
we
that
picked
everyone?
everyone.
Have we?
Yeah, that was
Yep.
yeah, that was last.
There's me not paying
We
attention
have.
at all. Hold on.
Nathan, are you doing storms or is Isaac?
But hold on a minute. Uxinator, you've not... Are you on... I'm
I'm
confused
on
now.
Sam's, I believe.
Euxinator's on Samuel's.
Alright.
Yeah, I'm on Sam's.
I'll shorten it to
whose
UX.
team am I on?
Huh?
Whose team am I on? Whose team am I on?
Cosmo is on the viewers team,
Okay, yeah, fine, yeah. Okay, I am
I'm
not.
on. Yeah,
I
so
and
I'm
they
team
both
captain,
start
got
with
Cosmo,
nil. I'm
Ryan.
really confused on how this is going to work. On a technical
Oh, Isaac just
standpoint,
joined.
we're going to
Isaac
do
just
our
joined.
best. Sorry?
Isaac just joined.
Isaac's
Alright,
with us?
Isaac. Our
That's
first
storm.
storm. I think
Isaac,
Isaac's doing storms.
I'm going through your images
storms.
as we go through them, alright?
Alright.
So I'm starting with your image number 1. It's now on the screen.
Let me see
What?
this one.
We can't see it.
Yes,
Because remember the
you'll
viewers
see
don't
it on
see
the
it, so
stream
could
in
you-
about 15 seconds, so...
Oh, it's on screen.
Could you,
Okay.
could
Well-
you screen share? Because it's going to be oddly out of sync for the viewers, won't it?
Yeah, well, it
Okay.
lets the
Oh,
viewers
that's
think
fine.
for a little while, and once you see it
Um,
on the stream, you can go right ahead.
Okay. Oh, I
Ah.
see it.
It looks
Um,
like Sandy. I mean, it's big.
What? Okay.
Okay.
It's undergoing a convective
Right.
explosion.
What is
So
that?
that's interesting.
I did not prepare for this at all.
Isaac,
Yeah,
are
me
you
neither.
watching the chat?
What?
Are you watching the chat and see if anyone gets it right first?
Yeah, I'm
Why
going
would
on
the
it now.
chat be
really
doing?
dark.
Is it Isaac?
Because the viewers are still... The
Why
actual
would it
viewers
be?
are joining, but our viewers... people representing the viewers are there. Okay, whatever.
Guys, apparently it's Manhunt.
No.
What?
Someone said Manhunt.
No.
You mean main cut? It's not
no,
main cut.
they spelt it Manhunt.
No, it's
Main
not that.
cut.
either.
Alright then.
Okay,
Alright,
that failed.
I'm gonna say maybe. Can I guess or
Yes, go!
Yeah, it gets
Roxanne?
spoiled.
Sorry?
Roxanne?
Roxanne.
Roxanne 1995?
I
No.
can see why you think that, but it isn't.
No. Okay. Hmm.
Are we going to
Might
get
it be
past
Kong
number
Ray?
one? No.
Well, let's see. It's somewhat developed,
Mm-mm.
but doesn't have an eye yet. So
Alright then, Isaac, are we going to go with a clue on this or what?
Yeah. This was a powerful over Category 3 plus storm in the northern hemisphere.
Wow.
Because
What?
it's rotating like northern hemisphere storms.
Yeah, just in case somebody thought it was rotating counter.
Isaac,
rotating,
can we just can we clarify it was a category 3 or higher when that picture was taken?
I don't think it was. To be
Ah.
honest with you.
Oh.
Okay, so it's I'm gonna go with Joaquin. That's not right, but
The huge
No.
amount of guesses coming in. I've still not seen the right answer from any of the viewers yet.
I'm gonna
Is it
go
Kong
ahead.
Ray?
No.
Is it?
Judging by when the
Someone's
image
asked me
was
to
taken-
repeat the question. Okay, the question is, what the hell is this?
Is it Wilma? Maybe. I don't know.
Nope.
oh, it's an explosive.
I'll narrow. I'll,
Is it-
I'll narrow it down
can I-
now.
My guess
I'll
is
narrow it down.
Matthew.
Is
Matthew.
it in the,
Not
A
that.
category 5 later in
is
its
it in the West
lifetime.
Pack?
Hold on, one
Oh,
at a
what-
time.
No.
Isaac just said it became a category 5 at some point in its lifetime.
Oh,
Jebby.
Ivan. Ivan,
No.
maybe.
No.
Jebby.
is it possibly Matthew?
Nope.
Mitchell.
Nope.
Mitchell?
Mitch, you mean?
Yeah, I meant
Yeah,
Mitch.
you mean Mitch?
Ah,
This was a
Dean.
fairly recent storm, 2010 to present.
what's some Atlantic guesses?
Oh.
Something that occurred in this decade.
Mm-hmm.
Michael, maybe.
Jebby.
Nope.
Jebby.
Nope. I'll increase the time span, 2015 to present.
Wow. Still not seeing the right answer anywhere. Oh my goodness. Huge
Oh,
amount of
jeez.
guesses coming.
What is this? Is this
What
Mesa?
Guess for
basin?
Lane coming in there, and I don't think that's Lane.
Is it Sergio of 2018?
Nope.
No.
Hyann
The
has had a
storm
few
did hit
guesses so
land.
far.
Is it?
The storm did hit land.
Bonnie?
Maria, Katrina.
Yes. Yes. Whoever said that.
Thomas,
Bonnie?
It was.
you've got one for the team.
It's actually Cyclone Bonnie. You gotta be kidding
Yep.
me.
Well, here's the thing,
Wow.
though, with that.
That's a really dark photo for
Because I remember
Bonnie.
when it convectively just blew up.
That's when the
Okay.
sun was coming up, so that's why it's so dark.
All right. Well,
Here's the thing.
that's number one.
I do want
Yay.
to point out that Fani was officially 155 miles per hour. So you saying that it was a Cat 5 was incorrect.
Well,
No,
Isaac,
because we were using
Oh,
Force
okay.
13
Okay.
analysis.
Going that way. Going
you
going
still
that route. I'm going
not.
Force 13
Ryan,
analysis.
you still got it
It's a
wrong.
high end.
You should have known from seeing it that it was that storm.
Well, I'm sorry. It's
Isaac.
We go by the officials here, I always thought.
I can't hear anybody
Well,
except
sometimes-
Nathan at this point.
I suppose when we do game shows, we do, yes. Isaac, onto your number 2 picture, yeah? We're going straight to number 2?
Yep.
Alright, here it is.
Alright, let's
And it
see
will
it.
appear for the team when they look at the stream in about 15 seconds. I can't, there's just no way that I'd be able to actually show it to you guys at the same time. Just technical feasibility is not there. So I'll just waffle on for a few more seconds until I start to hear guesses coming in from everyone.
What is that failure?
Gaston.
What?
That-
Joaquin.
No.
What?
I don't
No.
know.
Thing
Just a
is-
random guess.
That looks like it does not look like it's. It does.
Erica.
No.
It does not look
Andrew,
like.
Storm
It,
from
I will give an obvious hint for anybody who didn't know. This is in the Atlantic Basin.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Okay.
Irene.
Someone said Katrina
Nope.
before development. It's not a bad shout, that, but it isn't.
Harvey.
Trying to get a good look of what the map
Harvey
looks
was
like.
never there, you.
Oh. No, it was
Whoa.
like then dissipated then.
Um,
What would that be?
Ugly
That thing's
Bertha
structure
is a
looks
guess there.
awful.
It's not the right answer.
Andrea, maybe.
Joaquin
I don't.
Nope.
wouldn't be.
I'll give another
Joaquin.
hint here. The storm did not get above tropical storm intensity.
I can see why.
Bonnie.
Are you kidding?
Is it
Bonnie.
Bonnie?
Bonnie.
Nope.
Certainly not.
What?
I guess
Chris
there for
Noble.
Isaac of 2018. It didn't go
Oh,
there.
no. You wish.
Chris Noble.
Early Andrew is a guess there. I can tell you it was much stronger when it was in that location.
Yeah,
Would you say
that was.
Kirk, potentially?
Still not seeing the right answer here. It's probably
Yeah, none of them in the comments either.
Yeah.
Maybe it
Floppy
was.
disk. There's the first time we've heard floppy disk mentioned in the comments. Excellent.
Was it? Was
Someone
Sergio already
said
guessed?
Kirk.
The storm was 2000 the present. Peaked as a
Okay.
tropical storm, Atlantic Basin.
Well, it's using
Don't know.
RAM imagery. So
Debbie?
Nope. A lot of people are on the right track in the comment
Are
section,
they?
I will say, though. Yeah. In terms of one particular part.
But he won't say which. Don't try it,
Nope.
guys.
Is it an A storm?
Is it Beryl?
Mm-mm.
Gordon?
Mm-mm.
Not getting very far here at the minute.
Ernesto, maybe? I don't know.
I'll lower it even more.
Two
2004
Ernestos
to
just came in,
2010.
Gordon?
Oh, then no.
2004 to
Eric.
2010.
Oh my.
Gordon?
Is it Brett of 2011?
Is it Hannah?
Yes, because 2011 is before 2010.
Colin, maybe? Tropical
Colin.
Storm Colin?
Well,
Was it Chris? No.
No.
I mean,
Uh,
people still aren't getting it yet. Still haven't seen it mentioned once in the comments.
Arlene.
I
It's
will
not
say this
Chantal, is
this
it?
was a storm in a very active hurricane season. I'm not going to say which one exactly.
Well,
Guts.
there's a few.
Okay. Well,
Well,
then it's
2005.
narrowed down to 2007 and 2008 and 2010. 2007, 2008, 2010.
I said from 2004 to 2010.
Exactly.
okay.
Is it Gus?
So
Is it
2006,
Ophelia.
2010.
Nope.
Is it
Oh,
Gus?
I've seen the right answer in the comments.
Oh
Well
yeah, there
done.
it is. David Foster.
2005. This was in
Don't say
2005.
that, they'll
Kyle?
see it,
thanks.
dummy.
Thanks for giving
I've
it
seen
away.
it.
Oh, Isaac.
Thanks for giving it away.
You're not
What?
supposed to give away who got the right answer in the comments, because now Thomas knows. No, that's
Yeah.
that's not the right answer.
Is that Andrea?
Alpha? Is it Alpha?
Yes, who said that?
Yeah.
You
I
did.
said it first.
Oh god, who said it, Isaac?
I said
Alpha.
it. I said it
Well,
first.
I can't tell because everybody's talking at the same time.
I was me, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure if
I don't know
said
who me is.
You're on the same
said-
team anyway. Viewers get a
I
point.
said it first. I said it first.
Yeah.
Viewers
Yeah,
get
I
a
don't know who
point.
said it.
All
It
right.
was you.
We got Alpha. We already pointed out Alpha.
I don't think. Well, doesn't matter anyway. The viewers have got a point. Viewers won. Team won after 15 minutes. We're not getting very far, are we? All right. Here is the next
I told you I
storm
stink at this.
appearing on the screen now, and the
Well,
team
in
will
15
see it.
seconds.
Oh, look!
In a
It's
few
that
more
disturbance that's currently active.
Yes, that disturbance is going.
Wow.
Yeah, of course. Here comes the next one.
Oh my god.
Oh, great. Hyann.
Oh,
What? No, that's not it.
That looks
Oh my
structurally
God.
similar to
Oh my
Hyann.
god, I
a
know
lot of
this-
high-end
know
guesses
this
coming in.
I've seen this. I've seen this picture before. I have seen
Vong
this picture
Fong.
before.
Nope.
Moranti.
I will
Andrew?
lower it. This is in the Western Pacific, by the way.
Okay, never mind. I have no
Sure.
knowledge on the
Thing.
Western Pacific.
Is,
You
is
two.
it,
Nope.
Man could.
A lot of the usual suspects coming in, the strongest storms. I mean, looking at that imagery, it's not particularly intense. It must be, what, borderline Category 5 there?
Well, take note of the landmass towards the bottom, left.
Nathan.
You can just see the Philippines, yes.
I'll tell you the intensity here, what it was in the picture in private.
was it Maria?
Nope. I'll lower it even more. This was, again, Western Pacific, and this happened between 1990 to 2000.
Oh,
Is it Angela, maybe?
a 90 storm here.
Omar.
Not Andrea.
Nope.
Angela.
Joan?
Someone's glitching out.
Joan?
Yeah. Oh no, it's not. It's not that I'm talking about the
Loads
glitching.
and loads of guesses coming in. The right answer has not come up from the comments section yet. And if it did, we're not saying who, are we,
Is
Isaac?
it Typhoon?
Yeah, I forgot.
Wifa?
Nope.
Is it?
I'll give another
Is it-
hint. It was over a Category 3 at peak.
Is it
Oscar.
Ivan?
Yeah, well, clearly.
Oh. Yeah, was it
No.
Ivan?
Mm-mm.
'Cause I-
Nope. Lots of guesses.
I just
for-
realized that for the whole time nobody could actually hear me on
Yeah.
the stream.
Is it Mike?
Is it Yuri?
No.
Mm-mm.
Lots of guesses for similar storms coming in. Still haven't seen the right answer, and it's not Fluky
Hello?
Disc either.
Is it
Bart?
What the?
Not in that location.
Was it Omar?
I am confused.
Nope. We are looking at
Is
the
it
open
Omar?
West Pacific in the Philippine Sea here.
Is it
Omar?
Typhoon Herb? Maybe? I don't know.
Nope.
No.
I don't want to say.
Winnie.
I don't want to say it. I don't want to
What
say
is
it.
going on?
Because
No,
it's a
I'll
bad
repeat it.
word.
I'll
It's a
repeat it. I'll
Wait.
repeat it. It's from 1990 to 2000. Category 3 and above at peak. Western Pacific. What is
Corn?
Winnie.
No.
it?
Mike.
No.
Corn.
I'll lower the date even more.
These are all
1990 to
decent.
1995.
They were all decent guesses, but we've still not found the answer yet.
Was it
Muriel.
Robin?
Muriel.
Nope.
Robin.
Another good guess. We're looking at the first half of the 1990s.
Alright, I'll be back here, folks, so
Oh dear.
the team's gonna have to fend for
It's
themselves here
4
on
against
Guess the
2
Storm.
now.
Is it? Oh, I was gonna
Is
say
it?
Flo.
Is it?
Is it Typhoon Ira?
No.
Man, you've stumped them
Back
here.
Is it Muriel?
Oh,
What?
Lord.
Who said that?
That was Cooper.
Muriel.
That's the right answer.
It is the right
Oh,
answer.
wow.
The team have got a second point.
Darn.
What was it?
Nope, not
Ding.
21. Sorry about that. 2.
I
It's
had the answer right there.
Muriel.
all right. So 2-1 at the minute after 19 minutes. So we're gonna try and get lots more coming in. All right, we're coming on to the next storm that Isaac has got on his long
This one
list.
should be more easy.
Okay.
And here it is. They'll see it in just a few seconds. The viewers can have a little think about it now, and we'll start to see comments flying in. No one got that from the viewers, by the way, before it was announced.
Yeah, I
the,
know.
viewer,
I
the
didn't see
commenters aren't
I
doing
almost-
very well tonight.
It-
I almost think that it would be almost fairly balanced.
That's-
either way.
that's a
Okay,
nice
that's
night.
Fanny. No.
What?
Okay, that's Harvey,
It's-
maybe
You know we don't
No.
use the same one twice unless you're Strat.
Sandy.
No.
I
Okay,
guess
A lot
Strat
of Sandy guesses.
it's one person.
Oh yeah, one person posted
Oh, somebody
5
got
times.
it. Ooh.
The right
I will
answer
say
has
that-
come in from the
Yeah.
commenters, so they've really
Isaac,
Vince.
vindicated themselves there.
Blaine, or
Ooh.
Vince,
Vince.
or Wootip.
Yeah,
Is it
people got it
Monty
right in
of
the chat.
2018?
Yes.
Is
Might
it
not
that?
be I don't
Is
think
that
it's an
Cooper
Atlantic
again?
Storm.
Yeah, that was Cooper.
Got the right answer. The team are now winning 3-1.
Wow. Wait, what was it?
Here's the fake applause.
Manny.
Oh man.
No,
Nagi,
we don't have the applause track. Sorry about that. Oh, the next one's
Manny.
funny.
Okay.
Minutes.
Just
What
a
was the
minute
right answer
before
for the last
before
one?
we show this next one, Isaac. What stage of its life was it? Early, middle, late?
Early.
I'm
Like,
struggling
I'll
to
tell you in the
think.
chat. I'll tell you in the chat here.
Yeah, all right. Here is the next one on the screen now.
Oh
Give a
God.
few more seconds.
This is about to look like a disaster.
Alright, people saying this is rigged. I'd just like to point out again that we're doing it differently this time. We have 4 people here
PTC 10.
representing the viewers. The commenters, I am taking note that you are getting
Arlene?
some of them right before the
I
people
believe
in
it's
here.
Alberto 2018.
But your representatives
that?
aren't doing the business, I'm
my
afraid, because
God,
Cooper has got it
Cooper.
right again. It's now
Andrea.
4-1.
And I was gonna say
you
Alberto.
The right answer is
Cooper.
Alberto. And it looks
Oh.
dreadful.
Congratulations, Cooper.
When was that?
Before in its
when
Caribbean
it
stage.
formed.
Wow.
Really? It wasn't
Awful.
that well defined. Not that I ever remember.
No, I zoomed
Like-
into like the center when it that little swirl in there.
It should be everyone against Cooper at this point.
A
That
lot of
wouldn't be
people
fair.
said Andrea.
I'm glad I
Arlene.
picked him.
I think some people did get Alberto right from the off there, so well done to them. Uh,
I'm looking at chat and no one did.
Oh, someone did. Let's take a
Oh.
look at the next one, which I'll get on the screen. Just having to work with things here. Here it is. Will the viewers representatives be able to salvage
Let's work with the delay.
anything from this?
Yes, I guess that storm is the invest in the Yucatan Peninsula.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh.
Keep looking.
Oh.
Okay, here we go.
Hmm.
Joaquin.
No.
Harvey.
I will give a big hint
Weed.
though. Western Pacific.
What are people saying?
Oh.
Harvey, Irma,
Mark.
Sandy, Katrina, Jose. Maria,
Is it? Or was it Ida?
Flora. Oh my
No.
Mesa.
And Western Pacific here. No.
I know. I know it's Western Pacific. Ida
No,
is
such
Western
people in the
Pacific.
chat.
Soludor.
No.
Solus.
Songda. Songda.
Somebody said it's a VHS tape.
What?
What? It's a
Hyon.
VHS tape apparently. No.
Hylon. Hyon. Or however you say
A
it.
lot of people say Mancut and Wu Tip. There's so many
Yeah, it's
comments
throwing them
coming
off a
through.
lot.
I might miss the right
It's
answer
not-
if it goes by. It's crazy.
It's not Masak?
No.
Is it Pseudolore?
I don't want to give too many hints because it'll take it away.
Okay,
Someone
Vongfong.
got it in chat.
Yeah, the
Ethan.
right answer has come in from a viewer. Well done. I
Conray?
can't say who it is yet.
Conray.
Conray.
I can't either.
You two?
I have. I know. I forgot-
Higos?
Is it Conray?
Mm-mm.
Anyway, Isaac, we're going to have to do a delayed reaction to the viewer getting it right because they're
Bud?
looking, they're homing in, they're very close.
Yeah.
Conray?
Still, the right answer hasn't been heard on our
Is it-
teams yet.
Is it Praparoon?
No?
Mm-mm.
Is it Phylin?
Is it what?
No, it's
Dolphin.
not Phelan. I'm gonna give another big, super big hint. The
These
storm
two
later
teams
became
aren't
a
even...
Cat 5.
Cat 5.
Is it Jongdari?
No.
That's not a Cat
Maria.
5.
Is
In
it-
Western Pacific and later became a Cat
Dog?
5.
Yagi.
No.
Oh, okay.
Western
Jemmy.
Pacific.
Damn, you guys.
Can't believe it.
Is it Ingrid, maybe?
Come on. No.
Or
I'm giving
Gonnie?
2 big hints already.
Just to say, at least one of the people watching tonight's stream in the comments has got it right, but the viewers team that's representing the viewers aren't doing very well.
Mawar?
Someone's got to get it.
Come on,
Milwaukee.
Cooper.
Is it
No.
is it Conrad?
Cooper, I swear.
Trammy?
Is it
Who's
Conrad?
that?
Trammy?
Is that Ux?
Yeah, that's me.
That is the right answer.
Get out of
Correct.
me.
The
That is
viewers
not Trammy.
have got their second point. Well done,
That's
well
not
deserved, because all
Yeah,
the
usually
people
you wait
watching
out
this stream
for
were
years.
right all over
It's
that. They put you guys to shame on that one.
I was
Yeah.
tempted to say Trammy, but I didn't think it doesn't.
There's like
it looks like
1,000 people
garbage.
saying Trammy in the chat.
Yeah,
And I
I
thought
see
Trammy
that
ultimately
too.
was a Cat 5.
That was.
I think Trami hit Osaka.
Don't be relying on the chat though.
The next one is
Yeah,
now
I
on the
don't rely
screen.
on chat.
Straight into
I
it.
mean, I'm not an expert on the Western Pacific, so I just went through
What
a
is that
list.
next
of
one?
So 4-2
Oh,
now. Quite
Sandy.
close. What?
Isabel.
No.
Sandy, no.
Sandy?
Is
Epsilon.
it
Emily.
Is it Wilma of 2005?
Epsilon.
No.
I can
Is
see
it
why you say
Andrew?
that.
Andrew.
Mm-mm.
Very large eye. Typhoon Noru.
I can say that amongst the sea of
Is it
comments,
you two?
someone
Is
has
it
got it
in the
right
North
already.
Atlantic?
Vince.
You two?
Yep.
Is it Vince? Is it Vince?
Nope.
Is it
Is
I will
it-
say it was a. I believe this was a
Thomas?
category. At least
What?
a category.
Could you
3.
say that again,
Oh,
Thomas?
Okay. Is it-
Sergio?
That is the right answer. It is
Yep, it's
Sergio.
Sergio.
Hey,
Thomas gets the
I was
point.
just about to say that.
It reminds me of Andrew a little bit, but
And well done to Ben Ray, who got that one right at first. Beat everyone. Well done. Okay, waiting for the next one to appear on the screen now. Another one.
Oh, that
from-
one.
That's a decent picture, actually. Here it is then,
Thank you.
and we'll see what our two teams make of that.
Okay, well, looks like the team is slaughtering the viewers. That's great.
Yeah, that's because we've
but-
got the wrong viewers on the team viewers. It's
I am
fine.
very offended.
yeah, I'm offended.
Come on,
with
Cooper,
you.
can you get this one?
I am
No, but
personally-
Cooper, you're.
I am very
but-
deeply
but-
personally offended by your slandering of my
Oh,
Cooper's
yes.
been doing a lot of it.
Sorry, I get
With
confused.
I'm sorry, Mr.
I'm sorry,
the
Cosmo.
name of this season's gonna
Awfully
be
sorry.
Omega.
I am
Irma?
very,
on,
I am
Cooper, you
very
can get this.
personally
Look, hey.
offended by your slandering of
Hey,
my experience
we've
with
had
large
this-
spinning
It's
clouds.
been 27
I'm not so
minutes.
sure about this one.
We've got another 30 minutes, well, 20 minutes of this, 25 minutes, so there's still plenty of time.
Franklin, maybe?
No. I will say.
Lots of Franklin guesses.
I will say
Better
this
not be
storm
Olivia.
was from 2000 to present, and it was at least a category 1.
I'm gonna swap guesses then.
Can you give us a hint of it being an
Isaac?
Atlantic-based storm?
Is it Isaac?
Excuse me, what?
I forgot what
Isaac?
it is now.
Is it in at least? Will we get the hint of
What's
it
that one?
at least being an Atlantic-based storm?
Or looks sort
I
of like
won't say
Katrina.
until.
It looks like Katrina in the early stages.
I won't say unless you guys are really struggling in the next 5-10 minutes.
No one's
Katrina-
got
Doesn't
close
look half bad, honestly, for a
Mm-mm.
Katrina. That does
Um,
look a lot like Katrina did.
Maybe early Sandy.
No, it's not
Dennis.
Isaac.
Dennis. I don't know, Dennis.
Is it Rita?
Stan, 2005.
Mitch.
How narrative and more 2015 to present, at least category 1.
All right.
Hermine.
it-
Hermine.
No.
Maria.
Someone said, and I completely agree, I love how on every picture there's always people saying Irma.
Joaquin.
Yeah.
Is it
Every
Joaquin?
Emily,
storm is
2005.
We,
My favorite guess was somebody saying it was a VHS tape.
Is it
No, wait.
Joaquin?
Okay.
it's
No.
the New World Order manufactured weather
Is it-
conspiracy.
Irma,
Not here, please.
2017.
This storm did hit land.
Did it?
Matthew.
Yep.
No,
I will give that.
No, I don't believe in that. I'm not an idiot.
Is it
did hit
Nicole?
land.
Is it? I remember Nicole had a very clear drive
Was it-
slot before.
Those
Nipper
comments
Is
are
it
coming, I
Bill?
know tomorrow.
Was it Nate?
Yeah,
Is it Bill?
Mm-mm.
Auto 2016.
A decent guess, but it's not the right answer.
Should I give more hints out, Nathan?
Sorry?
Should I give more hints out,
Should we
Nathan?
just straight up say it's not in the Atlantic?
Yeah, it's not an Atlantic.
Oh my gosh.
Is it an 80s storm because of the picture quality?
I said from 2015 to present. It's not
In
80s.
northern,
I can read.
it's in northern hemisphere as well.
Typhoon Pipperoon.
Pipperoon?
Nope.
Um,
You mean Prepperoon?
John Gray.
Pepperoon, yes. Sorry, my
Lane. Lane.
It's not Lane. It's the wrong
Pseudolore.
Lane. Nope.
None of the commenters have got it right either. yet.
Moranti.
Vongfa?
Is it
Nathan, am I
Solent?
right in saying
14.
this? And saying
Madeline.
this? I want to post it to you in private. Am I
How
right
was
in
it
saying that?
2018?
Sorry, what?
Is it-
Posting in private. Was it
Is
that?
it Sunton?
Yeah,
Nope.
it was.
I see. Did it?
Lion Rock.
John
Better
Dari.
than
You know.
This is going to go on for a
John
while.
Dari. Is it John Dari?
Is it
No,
at
it's
least
not.
a cat? Is it at least a cat 3?
I will say it was at least a cat 3 or higher.
Okay, Sulik.
No.
Patricia,
Jeb-
who said that?
Darby.
Get out of here.
Jeb-
Oh my goodness.
Jeb-
Cooper, come on, come up with some.
Cimarron.
Napartak.
Wait, is it
Sim-
East or West Pacific? Did you say?
Cimarron.
He didn't say.
Jebby Minkut.
All I'm saying is,
Odile.
all I'm saying is, 2015 to present, category
Odile.
3 or higher, it hit land, Northern Hemisphere,
Not
and
in
it
the
was not in Atlantic or
You
East
too?
Pacific.
It's
Three
not
basins.
Typhoon Higos, is it?
Who's
Is
in a
it?
construction site?
Is it?
It's,
Is it
Is it
Norris?
Higos?
John Dari.
it wouldn't happen to be Lane, would it?
No, none of these are the right answer.
No.
This is crazy.
Mhm.
None of
Typhoon
the
I can't believe
Dolphin.
this.
Still, none of the commenters have got it yet either.
Cayenne.
Yeah, I can't believe this, Nathan.
Noru.
Chanham.
No.
Would it-
Olivia 2018.
Would it be a hint to say that Force 13 covered this storm extensively?
Nope, it wouldn't be.
It could.
Until
Lan.
Hato.
Noru.
Force 13 did cover the storm in detail.
Talum.
Champy.
None of these.
Maysack.
Doxuri.
Nope.
I can't believe people are still struggling with this, even the viewers.
No one. Not a soul.
Maggie.
I'm gonna scroll
Yeah.
through the videos.
Has
and
got
just-
this
just
yet.
guess from that.
Not a soul.
Noru.
Well then, I thought someone said the right answer there. But Isaac, you must be glad that I didn't put this image on the video thumbnail. then.
Malor.
Better
Sure,
not
I
be.
guess, yeah.
That better not be Woo Tip.
No, it's not.
Malor.
Is it?
So many
Maria,
people
is it
saying
Maria?
Manco.
Maria, is it Maria?
No,
is
it
Maria?
isn't.
No,
Typhoon
again, I
Maria.
will
Cimarron.
restate.
Super
I will
Typhoon Maria
restate what it is
2018.
People are
again.
getting more
It's at least
desperate out there.
It's
at
Jebby,
least a
isn't
category.
it? Is it Jebby?
It's at least a category 3 or higher. Northern Hemisphere, not Atlantic, not Eastern Pacific. Category 3 or higher. It hit land.
All right,
So we
Isaac.
got if it's you two.
Great news.
Maggie.
One of the commenters
was it Maggie?
has one of the
Maggie?
Hold on.
Neparta.
Was it Magni? Was it Magni?
Hold on.
Mancoot.
One of the commenters
Well,
has
that's
got
out.
the right
Was it
answer.
Magni? Was it Magni? Was
No,
it
that's
Jelawat?
not
Was it
it.
Jelawat?
No, one of the
Jelawat.
commenters has got the right answer so far, so well done to
Tiger
them.
Pit.
We'll let you know who
Yep.
it is.
Is it Nate?
Moranti.
Is it Kopu?
If I say the exact basin, it's gonna give it away immediately. So I'm just
Ramison.
taking it
All
out.
right.
And it's also
Malor
2015 to present.
2015.
This is going on
Nepartak.
and on.
Nepartak. I don't know how to say it.
You two.
Nope.
You too.
Can't believe nobody's getting
Northern
this.
Hagapit.
Wine Rock.
Line
We
Rock.
should have set a timer for this one. No, we're
Wine
still
Rock.
Yeah.
haven't found the right answer in our team.
Namtheon.
Go through
Namtheon.
the whole list now, or what?
Yeah. Moranti. There's
Iowa.
Malkat.
Isaac,
Malkat.
is there any
Yes.
other
Chapa.
clues we could give?
Oh wait, is it
Yeah,
Chapa?
yeah.
Chapa.
I'll give another.
Howard.
Calm down, everyone. Calm down. I'll give another hint. This storm again did hit land. Force 13 did cover it extensively, and I will narrow it down to 2017 to present.
2017.
And someone has got
And I
the
will
right
say,
answer.
also,
Noru.
yeah, I also will say that it's not Atlantic, not Eastern Pacific,
Cimarron.
not Central Pacific. So I narrowed it down.
Shan. Is it?
I said Chapa.
Was it you two?
None of these again.
Banyan. Oh wait. Hato.
Jelawat.
I said Talim, Doxuri.
I
Talim.
can't believe this, Nathan. I can't believe this.
Talim.
I think we'll give it another
No.
20 seconds, and
I
then we're going to
swear, if I
ask
said
whoever
it
got it in the
live
comments.
Scrolling through the list of everything. Lan. Is it
Pseudo-lore.
Lan? Is it Lan? Is it Lan?
No,
Is it
So
Lan?
it's not Talim.
10 seconds on this.
Is it Lan? Is it
Mhm.
Lan? Is it Lan?
Is it
No, no right answers.
Is it
Still,
Harto?
Okay.
still no
Yeah.
right answers.
Banyan.
Salma,
Is it-
Damri, Haikui,
Nisa.
Pierogi.
All right, we are out of
Noru.
time. We are out of
No.
time. Kurt
Oh, no.
P got the right answer with Mekunu.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Kurt P.
Oh my
If you're still
gosh!
watching, Kurt, please let us know if you want to give us the point to the viewers or the team. Thank you.
It's okay. It's
Nobody
we
mentioned
were thinking
Mekunu.
Westpac, but we didn't rule
I
out
didn't
the
hear
North
anyone.
Indian.
We
Yeah,
are
I
complete-
specifically
we are-
didn't rule that out.
We are
Specifically
complete
didn't rule that
failures.
out.
We are complete and utter failures.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
All of us are complete
Sort
failures.
of crazy people.
Now it rings a bell.
Let's see if Kurt lets us know. I mean, this is very direct here. Whether they want us to give us a point to the viewers or the team. If I don't get a response in a few seconds, I'll give it to the viewers.
Mekunu.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There. Give it.
All
give
right,
it now.
the viewers get the point. It is 5-3. Interesting.
Yay!
Hopefully, this next one will be much easier.
We
Won't say
have.
anything until it shows that.
We've only got 2 more, haven't we?
Yeah.
And we. Oh, we can use the last one. We've only got 2 more for the time being, and I'm not sure what's going to happen then. Isaac, you might want to find some more in the meantime.
Yeah, I will.
All right. Someone say hello.
Hello.
I'm just trying to get this to work well.
Wait.
The next
hey.
one is now on the screen.
No, it's not.
Yes, well, it will be on your screen in a little while.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
know, but your statement that you just said was factually
You all hear me?
because I had not
Yes, I hear you.
electronically transmitted
All
to my
right,
area.
let's-
Well, it's your
Oh,
word against all our viewers who are seeing it.
John, is it John? Is it John?
Certainly
994. John. Shit.
Nope, it isn't.
Irma. Michael.
Irma. Why is everyone saying Irma all the time?
No,
I will-
wait,
I will-
get it out of the way.
Get it out of the way.
I will give. I will give this away. I want to give this storm away like dramatically.
Is it
here,
Matthew?
okay?
Chevy!
Is it Matthew?
Jebby.
Yeah, whoever said that. Who said that?
Was that Ryan?
That was me. That was
Chevy.
me.
Well done, Ryan. Jebby is the right answer.
Ryan.
Viewers on 4, team on 5. We have 1 more storm on our list at the minute, unless Isaac gives us some more.
I'm getting one more here.
All right.
Yeah, we need one more to tie break if it gets tied here.
That's right. All right, here is the next one now on the screen. So it's 5-4, and we'll see what happens next. Someone put up an Irma counter, is one of the comments there. It's quite funny.
No,
Irma.
our ears would be destroyed due to how many times.
Irma.
Vince.
Friends.
Noru.
No.
Here,
Epsilon,
Harvey. Harvey.
Jebby.
Delaware.
Sulik.
Who said
that?
Shulik?
Nipartak.
Me, I did. Sulik. Euxinator.
Yes, that is the right answer.
great.
It is 5 each.
Well, we're losing. Well, we're not losing. It's
5
tied.
to 5.
And
Alrighty.
I think the first person who got it right in the comments section was Norway Tracking before anyone else here in our room. So
nice
well
one,
done to
Norway
them.
tracking. Shout out to you.
Cooper, Cosmo, we got to get our act together. I
And
think
Isaac's
Cosmo's
given
up.
me
No,
one
Cyclone free.
more. Isaac, can you clarify the year?
This is the tiebreaker, folks.
Just so I know.
Uh,
Type it to me.
hold on. Yeah, I'm trying to do it really quickly here. It's that year.
Yep, alright, just checking to make sure. So it is now on my screen here, and it will be on everyone else's screen in just a moment in our room. And this is the storm in question. Let's see who's sharp on this one.
Who is starting a computer from the 1990s?
Andrew.
That's my father's vacuum.
Oh dear.
Andrew.
Sounds like
Is
a
this-
floppy drive.
Oh,
It looks.
Floppies.
where's David?
Is it
David?
floppy disk?
I have floppy disks.
Is it Sandy?
None of that.
Mm-mm.
None of that.
Irene.
Is it Tip?
When did Sandy look like that?
Katrina.
Is it Irene?
No.
Is it
Dennis.
Otto?
Irma.
Is it from before 2000, considering the image quality?
I'm surprised it's
Won't
taking
say it
so
this
long
time.
for our commenters to get the
Monka,
right answer.
Fran.
They still haven't yet.
Alan. Floyd.
No, none of these.
Nope.
Hugo.
Alan.
Dean.
This is the big one.
Gilbert.
It's tense out here.
Felix.
Isabel.
Is
What?
it before 2000?
We could even play the tense music, actually.
Andrew.
Charlie.
Alan.
Isabel.
Francis.
Wilma.
I will give a big hint. As
A big
if
hint?
nobody did notice.
Are you
Yeah,
sure?
but really big hint. Yeah. Over category 3.
Well,
And
it
Northern
would
Hemisphere.
appear to be.
Force
Felix.
13 did cover this storm.
Oh, it's recent? What?
Marcus.
Okay, Michael.
Tip.
Marcus.
Maria?
Is it Irma?
Maria.
Debbie.
No.
Maria.
Is it Monkut?
Again.
Monkut.
Matthew.
Florence.
Trami.
We put in the
Oh,
tense
man,
music
these
because we're
guesses.
tied.
Napartak.
Is it Maria?
Is it
Woo-tip.
Joaquin?
Woo-tip.
Nope.
Is it
It's not Fonny again, is it?
Usman.
Wayne.
What if it's Fanny?
It's too
Is
many
it-
voices.
Wayne.
is it what's it
Michael.
called?
Florence.
Alright, guess. Is it
Matthew.
Patricia?
Emily.
Mine.
I'm still waiting for the right answer from absolutely
Ophelia.
anyone out there in
Franklin.
this world.
Franklin.
Harvey.
Franklin.
Willa.
Harvey.
I look at Wilma. Don't
Is
die.
it
I think this will be
Ophelia?
the tiebreaker.
This is
No.
Wayne.
Which
Lane.
Hey.
No, it's not Lane.
Andrew Masak.
You two.
Not-
Odile.
Jose of 2017.
Just throwing
Jose.
stuff at us.
Is it Nora? Is
It's
it
done.
Nora?
Hector.
Nate.
Von Fong.
Noru.
Was that Uxinator?
Yes.
Uxinator, what was your guess?
Noru.
No.
Noru.
Who was it?
No.
Cooper, what was your guess?
I also said Hector.
Was it Irma?
Hold on.
Crapperoo.
Who said
Was it-
what here? Isaac, who said the right answer?
I had
I-
every dollar for
I don't know. I
every
wasn't
time you said
paying
Irma,
attention. I don't know
Oh,
who said what.
god damn it. We're just gonna have to cycle round again until someone says
I
the
said
right answer.
Joaquin, maybe? You said, is it Joaquin? You said?
No, it's not that. We'll have to cycle round again
I
before
said
someone
Von
says the
Fong.
right
If
answer.
I had a dollar for
I
every
didn't hear
time
the right
someone
name
said
at all.
Irma, I'd be rich.
It's just
I don't
voices
know.
everywhere. I'm just so confused. Someone has got the right answer, but I don't know who.
Someone has it.
This
Yeah.
is great.
Disaster.
Harvey.
Is it Irma?
Matthew.
No.
No.
Is it, I'm pretty sure I
Is it
said
Precious?
Florence.
Ophelia or
Mancush.
Franklin.
Mancutt.
No, Thomas. Why would it be Mancott?
Land.
Was it, is it Dublin? Is it Westpac? Is it Westpac? Is it Westpac?
Oh, I'm just. We've really
Is it
ballsed up
Hector?
here.
Is it Hector? Is it Hector?
What?
Is it Hector? Is it
You
Who said
said
Hector?
that as well.
Who said
I said-
Hector?
Did it get retired?
Nicole.
I said Hector before.
I said Hector.
I've said Hector.
Otto.
I said
Who's the
Hector.
one with the?
I said Hector before everyone else.
I've
Like
said
earlier
Hector.
in the stream.
I said it.
Calm it down here. Calm it
No,
down
it's
here.
Hector,
Go by
it's Hector.
one by
Who's
one.
the one who's?
One by one.
Who's the one who's
who
not
said-
Cosmo?
I'm
I
not
said
Cosmo,
Hector.
and I was the first one to say
Gustav.
Hector
No.
originally.
Who
I
are
am.
you?
I am
Matthew.
not myself.
Euthanator. I originally
It's
said
you.
Hector originally, and then I said
Hector.
Noru afterwards. I said
deal.
Hector Noru.
You're on the
I
same
know
team
what-
as Cosmo anyway. You win. The viewers have won. It's 6-5, and that is the end of Guess the Storm.
There we go.
Yeah.
I actually said Hector originally, and then I was like, I said Noru, and then I said
Oh,
also I said
man.
Hector afterwards or before that. I said Noru, if that makes
Was it
sense.
Hector?
The right answer was Hector.
And
I had said that.
Oh, what a mess.
I know, Nathan.
Yeah, that was pretty messy.
We're not very good at
But
this,
I
are we,
mean-
Isaac?
Yeah. Ooh.
Well,
was Hector.
the viewers win over the team 6-5, our elected viewers. If you, if we ever play guest on any of our mediums, and maybe we'll play
Alright.
again one day.
I'd say that was a good game.
Certainly.
Yeah, man.
Cooper looked like she was gonna take this one. Cooper
Yeah, I
looked
know,
like
we
she was gonna
came
take this
back.
one.
We came back.
All right.
I thought Cooper was a male.
Yeah, I thought.
I really
that was
thought the
nice,
team
like-
had it there.
I
It was
did
very-
too.
5-2.
I'm gonna be honest, I thought you guys did it as well, but
5-2
you know.
comeback. Well done to the viewers. All right, we've got 5 minutes or so, maybe a little bit more than that, to take any more questions, because there were lots of questions coming in at the back end of the last hour.
I do remember that, yeah.
So send them in quick. Start your message with Force 13 all in text. It will tag and light
I
up for
remember
us.
seeing a question about something specific, but I forget what it was.
Oh.
That's good to know, isn't it? Considering that's very useful. I really know that. Thank you so much. Yes.
Yes. So we'll wait to see if anyone sends in some questions there, and in the meantime, we're looking at this area of interest in the Atlantic. Some people keep asking about AccuWeather, and I don't know the specifics on that one, so I couldn't comment.
What about AccuWeather?
They basically made their own hurricane scale.
Okay, someone in the chat just said Hurricane Big Chungus.
That's great.
Let me take a screenshot of this.
Another question: any storms that were not officially graded as Category 5 that you feel should have been? Well, how long have you got? But hopefully, to help you out with that, there's a new website launching in just a few more minutes. Although it's still only half finished at this point. It's a website for the Force 13 database. Huh? No, it's not that. It's a website for the Force 13 database, and it is going live in 15 minutes. And that will be very interesting because at the minute I'm still working on it a lot, but what it does have on it is something that's been eagerly anticipated for a while. You may or may not know that during the last 2 years or so, we've been working extensively on the Westpac reanalysis project from the years 1884 to 1944, and we uncovered 1,363 cyclones, I think it was, and pretty much all of them will be on the website with track maps, so that's really great. They're already there waiting. You'll be able to see that, if nothing else for now, but we are adding things to it all the time. So I really look forward to unveiling that web link for you. That is in 15 minutes time, as is a tropical weather bulletin. We'll probably just still be chunnering on about this again, to be honest, because we already sort of did that in the first hour. But hey.
Yeah. So my question to you is involving the I'm forgetting what it was actually.
Oh. Please remember it.
Oh yeah. So like the storms, like what the earliest storms you have on the record?
Where?
On the website, is it because I remember you mentioning something with 1844 to 1900 or something like that.
What do you mean? I'm sorry, I don't follow.
So basically my question is
Hurricane Patricia was a front. I just saw a chat message that said Hurricane Patricia was a front.
Okay.
Hurricane what was a front?
Patricia.
You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah,
They didn't even spell Patricia right. It's just Patricia.
Patricia.
Are they stupid?
All right. Uxinada, I'm still confused. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. Never mind. Scrap the question. It was originally I think it was what? Just never mind.
Okay. Well, I'm sure you can ask me again later. We have a few questions there. Someone dumb in chat said that Patricia was 225 miles an hour, and that is not true. Explain.
I'm sorry, but no.
What?
Well, it isn't.
What?
Isn't true by most stretches of the imagination. How did Hurricane Faith of 1966 keep Category 2 strength until Ireland? It seems impossible. Well, I'd be inclined to agree with you because our preliminary research led by myself and Devon showed that it probably turned post-tropical at least 2 days before it actually is listed to have done.
Hurricane Isabel's a floppy disk.
Okay. Do you think we will have a hurricane hit the northeast this year? Chances are significant, actually, for that, especially for one that grazes the coast, strikes places like the Outer Banks, strikes Cape Cod off towards Atlantic Canada. Something like that is certainly a possibility this year. I don't know if everyone else agrees with that. We'll probably talk more about that in the next hour. Will this be will this be an active hurricane season? We'll talk about that more in the next hour as well, because we are
technically.
Yes. Will this question be answered? Yes, it will, because I just answered it. But I have a question. So my question to you now is, do you think there will be a hurricane that strikes that strikes Florida this year, like the Panhandle, or like did what Irma did in 2017 and just traveled straight up straight up Florida?
I wasn't
Could you
paying
repeat that?
attention. I was doing something
Okay.
else. Could you say again?
So so do you think there'll be a hurricane, or like, do you think there'll be a tropical system that will strike Florida, like the Panhandle, or do an Irma that goes like?
Ooh, well, it's not out of the realms of
So
possibility.
a more west. So you're saying a more west coast landfall is what you're trying to say?
I would actually say something else. Weaker storms that strike the west coast of Florida are much more likely this year, according to statistics.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
we could have another Hermine of 2016. Is very possible.
Yeah, that's interesting because I currently am based in Tampa, so
Hey, same here.
yeah, yeah. But I also am sometimes facing Gainesville, but other than that, it's like I was just wondering because I know that there are other stuff.
Yeah, because here in Tampa during Irma, wind speeds were recorded as high as 78 miles per hour, I believe.
The eye went over.
That
I think
sounds
my
about right.
house. I think the eye went over my house, but like our neighborhood was like the only one that was like spared from any damage somehow.
The eye went about 20 miles to the east of my house.
Yeah, no, it went right over my house. And interestingly enough, I was even in Tampa when the storm hit. I was in Gainesville when it hit, and it was fine. No power loss, nothing of the sorts. Like it was literally just a normal storm in Gainesville.
Yeah, I was in eastern Tampa when it made landfall.
Yeah.
It was actually originally supposed to the eye was supposed to go over Tampa. One of the models is a high-end Cat 3.
Oh yeah, no, I remember that.
Yeah, like everyone was like freaking out, like because like it was literally gonna swallow, like because like it was big enough to like swallow the entirety of Florida.
Yeah, when I went to the local grocery store, I can literally see the fear on people's faces when they said it can go over Tampa as a possible 4.
Yeah, exactly. Like I didn't lose any power during the storm, and my parents didn't lose power either. Even though they got hit by the eye.
All right.
Funny enough, I was. Go ahead.
I'm just about to break away.
All right.
If that's all right. We're cutting away just for a few minutes to show you all of Force 13's channels, as we like to remind you every so often. And then we are doing the countdown. We are back after this.
PogChamp.
Okay.
And the countdown begins, the Atlantic Hurricane season. Yes, we've borrowed the New Year's countdown clock for that, but why not? We're into the last 5 minutes before the start of the Atlantic Hurricane season. I know we go all bold on this, but it's just a bit of fun. But here we are with the big old countdown clock. Guys, your thoughts?
Alright.
I cannot believe it's about to start. Obviously, the hurricane season is a very important stretch of time because, like, you never know when a hurricane will form and possibly friend land.
I just can't believe it's already here.
Yeah, no, time's flying by fast. Cosmos, why?
I don't know.
Cosmo's just being nice and dramatic for us.
Yep.
Not be too dramatic. It's only
15 seconds.
Yeah.
Could have fooled me.
Speaking of tomorrow, it's also the Champions League final tomorrow.
It's what?
Okay, someone
The
just
Champions
said,
League final.
didn't hurricane season begin on May 20th? Well, technically,
Basically.
well,
Good
no.
point, good point.
Minutes.
Officially, though, it is about to start.
Yeah.
Not that it means very much, as I say. It's storms are not going to magically form unless it's this little system here.
Yeah.
It's kind of stupid though. But I
The local on the 8th from 2005.
What about local on the 8th from 2005?
I was just saying, maybe I should, as soon as it hits midnight Universal time, play local on the 8th from 2005.
yeah, do it.
Yes.
We're doing a tropical weather bulletin here. I don't know about you.
Wait,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Would
anniversary
someone...
of Shut Up John.
The 2 years anniversary of Shut Up John, indeed. Would someone be able to get up that imagery again of the Arabian Sea storm, because we'll need that for the tropical weather bulletin.
Sure.
We are doing it live. The tropical weather bulletin is live.
So we get to do a Shut Up John again?
Yes.
Nope, we're
Who's
not
gonna
having
do it?
any Shut Up Johns tonight. No Shut Up
What about a
Johns.
Shut Up Ryan?
No
Or
Shut Up
Shut Up
Ryans. No Shut Up anything. We're being very professional this time and going straight to the tropical weather bulletin and doing the bulletin.
Did you just say Force 13's professional?
Sounds like a good idea.
Well, it is tonight.
True.
Yeah.
Well, we're counting down.
Is someone going to
and
play it in the
cranking
back?
up the
No, you
season,
better not.
so-
Someone
Oh, sorry, that was
in the
me.
background.
My bad.
Did we do it last year?
Play
Oh, man.
Shut Up John in the background.
Yes, play Shut Up John in the background.
2 minutes left on the clock before we see the new 2019 Atlantic Hurricane. It's like New Year's Eve for storm trackers.
Play local on the 8th from 2005.
Local on the 8th from 2005. That's a good thing we can
I'm asking
see over
Nathan's
the US
permission.
channel. US channel.
No,
like
sir,
that
we're doing other
considering-
things, I'm afraid.
I'll just put it in my headset.
We have our schedule completely set up here.
Are they still doing local on the today?
Yes,
I think
but
they
they're-
do.
But they're bad
Oh, like
now.
it's like not nothing like it ever was.
Man, but this 2018 though was a absolutely like horrendous year. With those two hurricanes. Florence was, of course, one that decided to go over to the Carolinas. Could have been way much worse than it could have been, but thankfully it
I do see
hit us
sort of
towards a
like
high in Cat
speculation.
1.
Is there
We had,
currently any? Wait,
Michael
are there
One
any?
minute.
Are there any storms happening right
Michael
now?
was. Yeah, Michael being the first Category 5 landfall since Andrew, then before that Camille, and before that the Labor Day hurricane in I think 1935, if memory serves me correct here. So quite a remarkable year 2018 was. And,
Certainly
we'll see
was.
what 2019 has in the future.
We certainly will. Reminds me of New Year's Eve all over again. Only have not had much to drink this time around. We're into the last 30 seconds here. On the universal clock we're going by before the start of the Atlantic hurricane season, and then we're running straight into a tropical weather bulletin after we finish our countdown. Because we don't mess about. So here comes the countdown in 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And here we go.
Happy.
I'm back.
Live from Force 13 HQ in Manchester, United Kingdom, it is time for your tropical weather bulletin.
John, get off my set! Get lost!
Here's your
get out of
tropical
here.
weather bulletin.
Go! And out there in the world right now, there are no storms active as we enter June the 1st, 2019. There they are. There it is.
Here's your tropical
Black map.
weather bulletin.
I don't know if anyone watched the stream output in our team room, but you'll be pleased to see what you just saw. Day 1 of hurricane season in the Atlantic. No storms are active, but that area of interest we're still watching over the Yucatan Peninsula. It's day 18 in the Eastern Pacific. The next name is Alvin. No storms are active, and 92E died. In the Indian Ocean, Invest 92A is continuing off towards the west over northern Somalia right now, just inland now the Horn of Africa, and no storms are active in the southern hemisphere. They'll be released on the southern hemisphere animations will be released on Force 13 starting tonight. Alright, well that's that. Let's go back to the team.
Alright.
Hello.
I don't think any of the teams saw the intro to that.
I did.
Oh,
I did not.
With John.
I did.
Yes,
Yep.
I saw him.
John surprised you all again.
Did he say shut? Did you tell him to shut up?
I did, yes.
Oh, okay.
Wonderful.
We're looking
All right, but now
at
it's
satellite
time for
imagery
your tropical weather bulletin.
of this system in the Atlantic, which we've been discussing already. We're just trying to sort things out over here because everything is completely messed up now. Someone talk for a while. Thomas, why don't you tell us about Invest 92A?
So Invest 92A is definitely an interesting system, just to say the least. It's one of two invests that we have, really, the other one not officially invest, but we have two areas of interest at the moment, and both of them happen to be having explosive convection over land, which is quite the coincidence. It isn't the most common thing in either case, especially when you have something like this, which is looking quite tropical at this time, and looks like it could develop. The only issue for it's going to be, it doesn't have much steering, it's virtually stationary. If it goes south, it dies, and if it goes north, it dies. But if it goes to the east here, well then it's got a little bit more of a chance, and that's because of the region we'll be heading into. The unfortunate thing is you're still going to be getting lots and lots of wind shear. You can see all these different clouds at different layers of the atmosphere moving in different directions. You can see lower level clouds moving west, and you can see upper level clouds moving north. That's indicative of some very strong shear. But it just really isn't in a very good environment for development. I mean, I understand that it is looking very good right now, and maybe even could become tropical for a short period of time. But after that, it's got next to none chances of becoming anything significant, in my opinion. The thing about it is, what if it's like 5 days later we see this become a Category 4 cyclone about to hit Yemen?
No.
I mean, it's that kind of thing that
Stop it.
that happens.
Stop it.
Oh, I understand it's a ridiculous prospect, but we've seen storms like this before in these awful conditions manage to create their own atmosphere and do things like this. We've seen it before, so like I know that people have made calls that seem very obvious and have gone completely the wrong way. I mean, just look at the United States recently with the high risk the SBC called for, and every single way that looked like it was going to be huge, and it didn't turn out to much. So, I mean, we can be wrong, but I'm not expecting this to develop.
And we can also be wrong about the Atlantic system, but well, let's actually talk about this. What do you guys really think about its chances of formation? It's looking good in those late frames this evening.
Yeah, it's changing my opinion a bit. Like, it really looks like it could actually form now. We'll see, but there's now a decent chance it could form. I mean, it's nothing guaranteed, but I mean, it's blowing up a bit, so it could end up becoming Barry. We'll have to see, but it's getting a bit of power, and like the shear, like it's starting to, gain a little bit. Now, it could end up going to Louisiana, like the European and Canadian models are saying, but only time will tell.
See land and hit.
The hell? Yeah. So there it
Deepest
is.
of apologies.
So, any other comments on these two systems, or are we moving on already?
I mean, my opinion remains the same as it did before for Barry. I think it's got a good shot at
Not
development.
called Barry yet.
Well,
Yes.
for what could be Barry. I'd say it has a fair chance of becoming Barry. And
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. I mean, the convection's been blowing up. If it maintains a more southerly track that doesn't interact that much with land, gets a smaller core, it has potential. The shear's going down, you can see in the latest frames. It's really starting to take advantage of the moisture in the Gulf. It's looking better. I think it's got a bona fide chance. I'd give it,
Seasonal temperatures are
40%.
okay. Yeah,
40
seasonal
to
temperatures
50.
are okay. But models tend to have a kind of a bad time indicating where the area of rotation is when storms are kind of over the Yucatan here, when they're not really that well defined. But we'll see if it does develop a small core and can get away from those higher wind shear values and not really hug the coastline, it may become a weak tropical storm or depression. But who knows? We'll see.
I mean, my forecast is almost virtually based on current observations. I'm using very little model data, as, like you said, they tend to have inaccuracies over land. I know that that's a tendency with a lot of things, so that's something that I tend to avoid, especially when we have just invests. I don't even look at models for my probabilities of development the vast majority of the time these days.
Okay, well, I suppose that's that for now. I'd like to make that announcement that I was going to make. Obviously, so many things happening at the same time. But we've just reached midnight UTC, which means that the new website has launched, cyclonehistory.com. I was very pleased to acquire it, by the way. And that will have all of the database work over the coming months and years, or however long. Stuff will be added to it all the while, and at the minute you can access all of the 1884 to 1944 West Pacific reanalysis project that we did, and hopefully more will be following very soon. So that is great, I think, and hopefully people will enjoy that and find it very useful as a tool, maybe, who knows. But that is where we are with all of that stuff. All right, now what?
Looking at several years before 50% completion to the database.
I know. We started in 2016. I should also remind everyone that the Force 13 store has a merch sale underway for the start of the hurricane season. That is running for a few more days, I believe. Promo code Hurricane will get quite a bit knocked off, so that's pretty cool as well. I bought mine, by the way. I didn't get it for free. I have to buy them too. I'm wearing it.
Any question?
Oh wow, yeah. I'm taking a look at the site right now. This is a little off topic.
Yes.
Wait. So you have cyclones as early as from 1274.
Yes.
Like,
that's the first record of a Westpac typhoon. After all.
Yeah, with the what was it, like a Mongol invasion or something of Japan, and they failed because of 2 typhoons.
And then, of course, at the end of this stream tonight, I don't think we're going to be airing it live, but just as soon as we go off air, we'll be making public the first of the 3 Southern Hemisphere animations for the season just past, 2018-19. So that will be very interesting as well. Hope you all enjoy that too. So that'll be appearing on the channel right after we finish, so stay tuned on that. Alright, I've been through everything now. What should we do next?
Do we have any questions in chat?
I'm sure there's loads.
Yeah, let's go through questions.
Hopefully we don't get anything, bad.
Start your message with Force 13 all in text. Ryland says, addressing it Force 13 US, but we can talk about it too. How does El Nino affect hurricanes, and how does a storm become subtropical?
Well, I
would
mean,
say,
go on.
from what I know, typically those kinds of storms develop far north of the tropics, probably like north or south, like poleward from the tropics usually. And they don't necessarily have a fully warm core system, but a lot of its convection is taking place in the center. So it can survive in cooler waters than tropical cyclones.
All right. We'll just listen to Thomas's audio feed.
His computer fan.
Oh my! No, it's my father's vacuum.
Oh.
I need to turn on push to talk here because this is getting ridiculous. I do apologize. I mean, unless you guys find it legitimately entertaining.
No, it's soothing. No, nothing like
It's
that.
soothing.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Uh-oh.
Look who it is.
What do you mean?
Oh no.
We've got a problem, folks. We've got a problem. We have. Good lord. I think that was the face of Tropical Storm 4213.
Yeah, Tropical Storm
Can we hear you?
4213 has joined us, everybody.
His signal's
Yep.
terrible. Hello?
Hello?
He's got no audio.
He's asking what's happening.
How can you hear him?
I can't hear him. He's just saying in the chat, like, what's happening.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello, we can hear you now.
We can hear
Oh
you.
god,
Hello?
I'm on a train, guys. This isn't like
Oh,
this isn't a
no.
good time.
It's Strat.
Yep.
Strat's on a train, folks.
Someone has messaged me saying "All hail Strat." I see you on
Strat?
stream.
You know
I appreciate
there's you know there's a lot of
Oh
people
my
watching, and they could be anywhere. They could even be on your train.
That's true.
How many people are watching right
Wow.
now?
Not just
Well, a few, but I don't want to inflate your ego. You know, there could be one on your train right now, Strat.
That would be highly
And now
disturbing.
everyone's seen what you look like on the train, so you know it wouldn't take too long to. Where are you traveling to and from, Strat? Would you mind telling?
I am leaving New York City, going back home to Connecticut.
So, if anyone's leaving New York City to go to Connecticut, Strat might be on your train. Let us know. Let us know if you're one of them people. And we'd love to hear from you.
If they are, I'd love an autograph.
I know.
Oh my.
Or no, I'd love to give them. Oh no.
Strat.
Yeah,
Strat,
we'll be getting
right?
autographs off them. Yeah,
Someone has
that's right.
messaged me saying they're on my train.
Autograph time, boys.
Strat.
That's right. If only we could bring in Nelson at the same time.
No,
Never
someone
mind.
just messaged me
God.
saying they're on the train.
Oh yeah? Who's on the train?
Oh my.
I'm trying to. I'm messaging him to verify if he knows the time.
AS1238 tracking
No, he
is
lied. He's not
on
on the
your
train.
train.
I'm
No,
willing
he's-
to make the sacrifice of getting off of this call if you add Nelson.
No, the guy.
Now, if anyone doesn't know, Strat and Nelson are nemesis now, aren't they?
No, they're best friends, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
they're close, dude. I don't know what you're talking about.
You're right.
I'm willing
Best
to
buds.
leave.
But I think we'd have
I
a
want Nelson.
terrible bloodbath here on the...
Oh god.
What's the problem with that?
Nothing at all. Although I do
Well,
think.
Cooper's leaving, so you could. Oh god.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go. Though it's not always the most respectful thing to talk on the train in America.
Is it not?
If you're talking into a phone, sometimes not. You know, especially this time of day.
Ah.
Then why have you been doing it?
So hope everyone enjoyed having me in the chat earlier in my brief appearance.
We really didn't. But thank you very much.
You're a terrible
Yeah.
person.
Excuse me.
I'm kidding. You're the best.
As you can see, the sideboard on the left-hand side there has ticked over to day 152 of the year. Doesn't mean very much. It's the first day
Was I
of-
just ignored?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, have a great night, guys.
All right,
we got some. Let's take some more questions because that is, ultimately what we're here for. How much risk is the Miami metro area in this year? I would say it's about average for this year. There's been some
Yeah.
seasons recently where they've had an above average risk, but I would say it's about average. The more risk is further north, ironically.
Yeah.
Will you make a hurricane tier list with some of the worst storms?
Oh God.
Now, I assume,
No.
I assume they mean on the new website. That is something we might consider. We'll see what happens.
Oh God.
No, I think I know what they're talking about.
I know what they're talking about. They're talking about the Super Smash Bros. Tier list meme.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's a meme. Yeah.
I thought we were
Tier
talking
list?
about costliest, deadliest, and whatnot. But we could do that as well.
We could do that. In all seriousness, we could do that.
Yeah, we could.
Oh yeah, S tier, A tier, B tier, C
People
tier.
are commenting on the strat appearance being the worst part of the stream, so we can't have been doing that badly.
It's definitely S tier.
How much of a risk is Mobile, Alabama in for a storm?
Well, I
Anyone?
think it was pretty high.
It was,
if I remember
yes, one of the
correctly.
highest on our chart.
Yeah, I know, like the Florida Panhandle, really that eastern part of the Gulf Coast is at a pretty high risk, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, even though Hurricane Michael came in, and
We're really talking from anywhere from New Orleans to where Michael hit as a possible hotspot this year.
yeah. Right, so let's hope that nothing like Michael happens again this year. That would be sad.
Indeed.
Are you seeing? Okay, someone asked, are you seeing rotation over the system over the Yucatan?
I've got the imagery up right here. I can't say that I do.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't look like it's rotating. It just looks like a blob of convection right now.
Yeah, there really is. I don't really see rotation either. It just like it looks like it's just a bunch of like moisture that's just forming. So
Interesting to see what might happen though.
Assassin, that is indeed that's what we're talking about as the Yucatan. Someone removed it. Oh, he retracted it. Someone in the tier list would rate Strat as a G tier.
Thanks for the help there. Isaac has posted the map that we often
You're welcome.
use. If you've not seen this before, this is our risk map for tropical storm conditions this year. So, if you've not seen it before, the red areas are above 50%, and of course, the colours gradually go up in between, so you can see what it's all looking like right now, and you can sort of make out storm tracks almost through those areas. So you can see Florida, the central part of Florida, has a much higher chance than southern Florida, which is interesting, mainly from storms coming in from the west.
Although there isn't that interesting area that has like a 56% chance in Florida that's literally in Midland. And then the areas surrounding it have like 31%
Well,
chances.
yes, because that's like the crossing point between storms that come in from the Atlantic and storms that come from the Gulf, I suppose.
It's
Yeah,
one,
that
isn't
makes
it,
sense.
is this by county?
Beg pardon?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
Is
It has to be because I recognize that my count because the county that I'm in is the one above above like the above Tampa, and
Right.
it's not in like the dark green. If that
About
makes any sense.
35%, I think, on that one.
Looks like Strat has about 25% chance of getting tropical storm conditions.
But the highest chance on all of that map there is the 81% in one of those counties in North Carolina. I can't remember the name anymore. I said it in the
I think
April
that
stream.
might be Wilmington.
That's
Might
like
be
the
Wilmington area.
Yeah,
Is U.S. headquarters in the red or the green?
Inland a bit, so I'm not sure. It'll be on.
It looks like it's been wait, U.S. headquarters. I thought you meant like the capital. I'm like, no, but like.
No, to clarify, Tim is currently leading our US team, and we go by his base at the minute in North Carolina.
Okay. Well, that's good at least. I mean, at least
Interesting to
it's
note is that it looks like Texas there, it's going to get, for the most part, has a higher chance to the southern part near Brownsville there, McAllen area in Texas.
Yes, now there is a big thing that I have to detail on this for anyone watching in Texas. This projection is really banking on two things to happen. One is that all storms that form in the Bay of Campeche or move through the Caribbean end up staying further south and making landfall in Mexico. It's also betting on any storms that enter the Gulf from the Caribbean or whatnot to recurve a little and sway towards the east and not head towards Texas, leaving Texas in the year's dry slot. And dry slots do exist when you look at some track maps. Some places get absolutely hammered, leaving other places that don't get anything at all. And we're swaying towards Texas being the area that doesn't get anything at all, especially central Texas there. Although, having said that, we're still in 20 to 30% range in those coastal areas, so it still could happen.
So more like an Alex of 2010 type of thing happening where it's in northeast Mexico there. Yeah. As long as it doesn't hit Texas over here. I don't want another hurricane here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the true dry area would be Maine.
Okay, so USHQ is actually is in the green area, just to the one county over from the red. Very interesting.
All right. That is
interesting. Are they based in Raleigh or?
No, it's in Fayetteville.
Fayetteville.
Okay.
It's also interesting to note the little kind of light green patch there in middle coastal bend over there in Aransas County there in Texas. That's interesting.
It
So it looks like for the most part, southern Texas and over there towards Houston, Galveston. I believe that's Beaumont area, Texas there too.
In case you missed it, the Atlantic hurricane season, these are our numbers that we gave in April. We're expecting 13 tropical storms, 7 hurricanes, 3 major hurricanes. 38% chance of being a near average season. 29% chance of being above average. I mean, it's not the greatest of confidence, those percentages there. They're all pretty even. And again, if we look back at the key messages, which I think is this graphic here, it shows you what kind of tracks we might expect this year. Now, it's not going to be exactly as depicted, obviously, because we're not crystal ball readers, but you can see again what we mentioned earlier on, things entering the Caribbean and possibly developing into really strong storms. That's possible if they stay if they avoid land, and then they could possibly continue into the Gulf and strike the Gulf Coast somewhere. That could happen. Again, something coming in from the Bahamas region and then striking or riding the East Coast. Short track storms that go and strike Florida on the West Coast, generally weak. And also possibly Bermuda.
Interesting.
What would be your analog, if I could even say that right, analog years for the season, Nathan?
Well, that isn't very easy at all. But I would say,
for the moment at least.
Well, I gotta say the best one I've seen is probably 1995, followed by 2017. So good luck.
2017 was not a good season. And I mean, if you say 2017, then you would be banking on Harvey, Never Harvey, as well happening, and that impacted Texas.
And just to look at Mexico here, you can see the chances on both sides here, and you can see Veracruz, high chance there of seeing tropical storm impacts, well, 50%. It's the western areas that are likely to get more impacts, especially Baja California Sur, which is at 75%, and could get a fairly strong storm this year, possible. We're all dealing with possibilities, and these things might not happen. We all know really about the Eastern Pacific, so let's just remind a few of our people viewing from the east what we're expecting in the Western Pacific. Here's another risk map, if it loads, showing here the areas that are most likely to receive a typhoon this year. northeastern Philippines, the Ryukyu Islands, the very southern tip of Kyushu, and southern China, all at around 91% or a little bit less. So very high chances for those usual areas, but I would say more than normal as well this year. So that's another interesting one to look at.
Another interesting thing I see is way up north in Japan seems to have a higher risk. It looks like that's near Tokyo.
Now that is something I do need to qualify as well, because that is a bit misleading. Tokyo Prefecture covers all the way down to the Ogasawara Islands, which are those tiny ones way down towards the southeast. So it all encompasses the same thing. Tokyo itself, chances are pretty low.
Ah, okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, because that's the largest city in the entire world. Most populated.
So that's a look at the Westpac. Back to the imagery, which shows this Atlantic system and still blowing up as we enter the evening hours. Any comment?
I have identified the. I don't know how important this is, but I have identified the county that is under the highest risk, and that would be Pender County in North Carolina, which is all the way on the southeast.
Pender.
Yeah. So if anyone lives in Pender, just be aware.
Well, statistically, it's based on trends. It's based on what our conditions are like compared to what conditions were like in previous years and what happened in those previous years, and we add them all together and see which ones come out on top. So, you know, things can go crazy, and of course, the best analogs might also change as we head into the year. I should know what I'm saying with this one. If an El Nino develops, I'm trying to remember what that favors now. I think, nope, it's gone away from me. I did all the research the other day and it's lost me. But if we slip into a La Nina, I do recall that that would be a worse outcome.
Well, yeah, because La Ninas usually have higher activity in the Atlantic, statistically speaking.
Yes. All right. Well. All right. We got some more. Yeah. What about a Wilma-like storm? Is a question that came in. Whether we might see a Wilma-like storm this year. I would say, well, anything can happen in October, but you know,
no,
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Yeah. I mean, Wilma's like the strongest storm ever in the Atlantic. It's not. It's not like you can expect something like it. I mean, a track like it, probably not, because it was also a pretty weird track too.
Another question: does Russia usually get hurricanes? No, but they can get a typhoon or two. Very rare.
Yep.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, they have. I've seen. Yeah, I saw a track earlier of a strong typhoon that hit Russia. Like it was like Vladivostok, that area. Like it was like eastern Russia.
I didn't know it could.
You won't ever get a storm in Western Russia.
They usually don't.
Yeah, no. It had to be an extratropical storm then.
Is that Sam?
Yes.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
it gets too. The water is up there is too cold to support tropical cyclogenesis.
Certainly is. Will that Yucatan storm form? We'd love to tell you the answer. We don't know. The National Hurricane Center still giving it 30%. They won't be updating until 2 a.m. Eastern Time tonight. Let's see. Did this disturbance come from 91E or 92E? Or either, I would add. I'm not sure. I've not been watching that closely. Has anyone else been looking?
Well, 92E is still down there somewhere in the East Pac.
I mean, from what I was doing with the tropical weather bulletins, looking at that satellite imagery every day, I don't think it's going to be from 91E. It'd be a very, very stretchy link between the two of them.
Well, it's probably not like directly the same thing as 91E, but I think it could have, I mean, like some ties. Like some of it is 91E or something like that.
Could have influenced some of its development.
Do you think a sub 900 storm could happen this year? Talking about the pressure. Obviously, those who may not be aware, 900 millibars is a pretty low pressure for a storm. A lower pressure denotes a much stronger and more intense storm. Any thoughts?
It's so you said it's likely for that to happen?
They were asking the question whether it was likely or not.
I feel like this year, I mean, if it's similar to 2017, it could happen because we had Irma and we had Harvey. But if it's like 1995, and let me just look up to make sure my
Wait, what are we
facts
talking
right.
about? No, Irma and Harvey weren't anywhere near 900 millibars.
Oh, oops. I was thinking of Irma though.
All right, we'll take more. Why is the Yucatan storm not an invest yet?
Well, because the ATCF hasn't updated it.
Quite a good question. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the ATCF is going to be updating within the next half an hour, so we'll find out if it's an invest then.
Will there be a chance of an Ivan-like storm? I would say there's definitely a chance of an Ivan-like storm.
I mean, I think we were talking about that earlier in the stream. Yeah,
it was in my little
storm.
My little thing earlier.
Definitely, I mean, like a very a long-tracked Caribbean storm, definitely possible this year.
Odds of another Irma-like storm? Not as such.
No, I don't think so.
Not as such.
Something more like a Charlie. Possible.
That is definitely possible too, actually. That really is, yes.
Yeah. Maybe an Epsilon? Epsilon, maybe, I'm thinking.
Any names you'd love to see on the naming list that aren't there already? This might be fun for you guys.
My name.
I don't know, my name? Yeah.
Hurricane Wanda.
We had Typhoon, Ryan.
That existed.
Hurricane Jonathan? I haven't seen anything on that.
Yeah, they always use the short names, don't they? John. Let's not talk about John. We already had that at the start of this hour. Does everyone in here know what happened at the start of this hour?
No.
Yes, I do.
You wait and see, Thomas.
I'm gonna look at it right now.
You can scroll back 30 minutes.
All
That's
right.
what I plan to do. I'm working on some stuff regarding the project, actually, as we speak.
What is the
Speaking of
strongest tropical cyclone on record? Well, give us your opinions, guys. What do you think is the strongest tropical cyclone on record?
Well, strongest.
Is it talking about wind?
Wind or pressure?
Patricia.
All right, we'll have to do this one at a time. Thomas?
Well, is it going to be wind or pressure?
Strongest usually relates to wind.
Okay,
It's Patricia.
I mean, we don't have much on Nancy. I'm gonna have to go with Patricia for now.
Ryan?
Only because I'm not much of a historian myself.
Yeah, I mean Patricia or Nancy, but there really isn't too much data on Nancy. Both of those were 215 miles per hour officially. I definitely think that it's possible.
When was that?
Wins.
Isaac?
Yeah.
Who's EF5
I think it's possible that Yep,
What do you think, Isaac?
For what?
What do you think is the strongest storm on record?
Obviously, no doubt about this. Hurricane Colin of 2016.
Oh,
No, but seriously though, seriously though, I would say either a tie between Nancy and Patricia. The thing with Nancy is that there's not really, from what I've seen at least, and people who are in this call who have data that suggests otherwise can prove me wrong. But from what I've seen, there's not really any data that can say that Nancy was below 215 or.
It's very inconclusive. Yes.
Yeah.
We can't shift on what the officials have said, unfortunately.
Yeah, so it's pretty much a tie between Nancy and Patricia. I would say Patricia. Patricia, actually, I would say more so maybe 210, because I think 210 was the actual wind speed they recorded, but they upped it by 5 in post-analysis, if I'm not mistaken. or something
Well,
like
that's
that.
just how
But
it works, because 210 doesn't exist in their numbers.
yeah, so I would say
that's a long story,
Nancy.
by the way. Those who don't know how this numbering thing works, but yeah.
Personally, I would say Nancy, just simply because of data wise.
You'll never see a storm officially with 55 mile an hour winds, or 95 mile an hour winds, or 135 mile an hour winds anymore. They used to. Or 170 mile an hour winds, or 210 mile an hour winds, because they use the knot metric, and the rounding up misses out a few little parts of the mile an hour thing. That's the best way I can put it. Alright, Hurricane Floppy Disk should be a name. Great. What about a Francis-like hurricane, at least track-wise? I would say that is a little less likely, but I wouldn't rule that out, actually. No. Possible. Again, 2004 track there. Could happen. Let's see here. Anything else of note? Do you think the Atlantic could see it, Patricia? Well, Wilma is sort of it.
I don't know.
Do you think we'll see another PTC 10? Yes, we will. Yes.
Yeah, we will watch there be, like, on the 10th storm of the season, watch it first become a potential tropical cyclone.
The amount of people I see spelling Patricia wrong, I can't believe it.
Patricia. That's basically how I spelled it.
Patrika.
So many people are spelling it wrong. I don't get it. Alright. What do we do next? We got 25 more minutes here before we finish up, and that means that, of course, at the end of this, we will have the new animation that will be appearing on the Force 13 channel. West Pacific animations will be coming in full flow as we enter June. Probably towards the middle to later part of the month, we'll be seeing more on that. With the West Pacific What Might Have Been, for now, the Western Pacific What Might Have Been series is starting at 2000, but we can go further back in future with the old naming list, but we've just started with the newer naming list so that we can just get some out of the way. So we're going to be doing 2000 to 2018, and because of how many storms we get in the Western Pacific, that's probably going to take, we're scheduling for it to take until October, so that will take quite a while. Huge amount of storms in those animations, and a lot of surprises already. I have done a lot of planning for the What Might Have Been series in the Western Pacific, and there's quite a few raised eyebrow moments, as you'd expect. That's what makes them so interesting. Do you think there could be another Patricia anytime soon?
No, I don't know. It's just Patricia's just one of those, like, storms that just happens pretty rarely. Will it happen?
All right, another
this year?
question that I do need to answer. Will in the Westpac What Might Have Been series, if you don't know what the Might Have Been series is, by the way, because I know we may have new viewers, it is just basically we do our normal animation on the season and take the most aggressive model runs to produce sort of like a hybrid hypothetical hurricane season, but mixed in with a little bit of realism because models actually predicted it. Well, the question came in just then about the Man-Cut run. There was a model run from the HWRF that predicted Man-Cut to become a Category 5 storm with winds of goodness knows how many miles an hour and a pressure of 777 millibars, but it was a glitched run. A glitched run, and it will not be used in the What Might Have Been series. Sorry.
It was like 320 miles per hour and 770 millibars.
Because if we accepted all glitched model runs, we'd have seen a bunch of Category 5s in the Atlantic at 40 degrees north. And we wouldn't want that now, would we?
No, that's pretty unrealistic. We have to stay realistic.
I wouldn't.
Will there ever be a Hurricane Rylan? Well, I don't speak to the WMO committee, so you might want to take it up with them and see if they're planning to do that anytime soon. Why did they give 92A invest status? I suppose it looks decent.
Yeah.
For time. But I do agree with a lot of the people out there who are saying that this system should have invest status. I think it should by now. because
Yeah.
when that happens, we get the models on it as well.
It depends. The NHC don't really have a set criteria for invest status, so I mean, we'll see. Usually, what they do is they wait a few hours or a few updates to designate it as an invest. But like I said, they don't really have a designated criteria for tag-in storms as invests. So we'll see.
Will a tropical storm ever hit England? Is it possible?
I mean, probably possible.
Yeah, well,
just rare, very rare.
I think Ophelia proved that it was possible, because if it was a little bit further east, it might have just done that. It was a bit further west, so it was heading towards Ireland and was within 12 hours of striking Ireland as a tropical hurricane. Crazy.
What was the? Did you get impacted by Ophelia?
Ophelia we were on the very dry side of Ophelia. It actually brought in a lot of Saharan. Was it Saharan air or was it forest fire air? But whatever it was, it clouded things up a lot, and very interesting scenes. If anyone wants to go back to the Ophelia streams that we did on Force 13 at the time, back in October 2017, you can have a look and see what things looked like from Force 13 HQ. We had our camera out showing the picture, but nothing spectacular happening here at all. Do you think that people are now calling it potential 91L, and do you think it will hit Texas or Louisiana?
Oh my goodness! Already, already with those.
Who knows?
Wind shear is prohibitively high up there. If this thing turns north, it's dead. It's just dead.
Oof. It's gone.
Well, I mean, at this point, unless it does manage to get that high pressure circulation wrapped around it, in which case it could create its own atmosphere, and then we have a whole other thing.
I mean, I don't even know if the sea surface temperatures are really that great right now in the Gulf of Mexico, if I'm not mistaken.
A question
They're good
here.
enough.
What was the northernmost storm to make landfall? I'm hesitant on saying whether Vince holds that record, because you've got Atlantic Canada, which it might be some areas that were further north than that.
Oh yeah, probably Atlantic Canada, I'd assume. Probably like.
Oh, I must also mention that I know some people might say Debbie of 1961, but our analysis has it turning post-tropical way before reaching Ireland. Sorry about that. Alright. Do you think we could see any 175 mile an hour or higher super typhoons this year? I definitely think we could.
Yeah, that I can see happening for sure.
And I think it could make landfall in the Philippines, where Mancote did, pretty much. Just a guess. Or Taiwan, even. There could be a big one for Taiwan this year, looking at the statistics. But statistics only tell you so much, and things could be completely different. But it's just very unlikely that it will be like 100% different. Maybe just a little bit different. Do you think this Atlantic year will be over, under, or normal activity? Well, our prediction puts it near average. That answers two questions there, actually. So, does anyone here think we're going to have an above average year?
I feel like
15 storms or more.
Slightly above average. Yeah, I'm predicting about 15 or so storms.
I think 14, 15 is fair for now.
Does anyone think there's any chance of getting less than 10 storms this year in the Atlantic?
Pretty unlikely, unless if we get a super big El Nino, which is not
happening.
Yeah, it's just probably not happening at this point. Yeah, I'd say it's like less than 10%, or probably less than that even.
Right.
Probably like 1% at this point.
Could there be a rapidly intensifying major hurricane in the Atlantic this year? Yes, definitely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, we had Michael last year.
I'd actually say it's more likely than not. It just might be out at sea.
Yeah, just like what you were saying with 95. Remember with 95 we had Opal come in, and I think before that there was Aaron, and both of those were. I think Aaron intensified when it was making landfall. Opal, of course, was weakening when it was making landfall. But I mean, it's certainly a possibility. I wouldn't rule it out.
Indeed. All right.
What was the strongest landfall
in recorded history.
The strongest
what?
landfall in recorded history.
Yes.
Haiyan, actually.
Terms
195
of-
miles per hour at landfall.
My goodness.
Yeah.
If you go by pressure,
think-
then it's Maggie.
It was the Labor Day. I don't know why.
Labor Day's up there.
Yeah.
Labor Day holds the record in the Atlantic still, doesn't it?
Yeah. 892 at landfall. Absolutely crazy. But Maggie holds the worldwide record at 885 millibars.
What were its winds at landfall?
Fiji might have something to say about that. I don't know how they still have Winston at 884. How did that happen? I think it's nonsense, personally. But that's one other issue. Okay, what is the difference between rapid and explosive intensification? That's another question here.
Good question. I don't know, actually.
There is actually a difference, but I can't remember what numbers are involved. This is something that Hank or Devon would know straight away.
I think rapid is like when it intensifies something like 60 miles an hour, I think, in 24 hours. And I think explosive is, I think, when it's in 12 hours. I'm not, again, you'd have to like...
I thought it was actually measured by pressure.
Oh, pressure. I thought it was by wind speed.
Could be, I don't
so
know.
I'm probably completely wrong.
I don't know on that one. But it's something like that, so... Could we see a strong storm go up the US East Coast this year? Well, as the map pointed out earlier, yes, I definitely think that is a possibility. Let's just reach out for that map again for those people who might not have seen it yet. We have been showing it a few times during tonight and during when we first unveiled it in April. Obviously not everyone will have been around back then because it's hibernation season. But here is that map of the US showing those areas that are expected to get the highest chances of storm conditions. Now, it would typically follow that the chances of hurricane conditions would correlate to that, obviously a step down. So we're really looking at possibly East Coast there, but you could be looking at something going not skirting the East Coast, but ploughing into the East Coast as well. A worst case scenario, you might see another Hugo, but that might not happen. But anything could happen really when you look at those scenarios. Just that tropical storm force winds are very likely in areas that were affected by Florence last year, which is a key thing on that one. And also, you know, decent chances for places that were affected by Michael last year, although we do expect the hotspot to be a bit further west. But yeah, the East Coast definitely should be a bit worried on that.
Sorry, are we going to see a European Sandy this year?
No.
Oh. We'll be here to cover it if it happens.
Why would there be a European Sandy? Like, what?
Oh.
If you get the right conditions.
I'm hoping that you're joking.
It reminds me of when we were actually tracking Joaquin. I was referring to it. Joaquin. A reverse Sandy, or reverse upside down Sandy at one point, I think it was. Was it Joaquin I was talking about at the time? I can't remember. I think it was. But I don't think we're going to get anything like that. I can't really see us getting a Matthew. No. But I do see us maybe getting an Ivan. So that's something to consider there as well. Also worth noting that the one, the one area in Louisiana that has a half chance or higher of tropical storm conditions is the county, which I forget the name of now, that borders Texas. So that could be quite interesting as well, that we could see something happening there, just as several storms have done in the last few years. Well, a little while ago now, but wasn't that where Rita made landfall in 2005?
What again?
On the Texas-Louisiana border?
Yeah. I believe it made landfall on Louisiana, if I'm not mistaken.
So again, that's a worst-case scenario that we're jumping to, but just to give you an idea once again, I don't think we're saying that there's an elevated risk of a massive landfall this year, but we could see some moderately sized landfalls, or the way this severe weather season's been going, by the way, we could see some lingering flooding issues that could be exacerbated by storm activity later this year too. Don't know if you guys have any thoughts on that. Any regions that might be most vulnerable to that?
Well, actually, unfortunately, my region is going to probably be one of them. For those of you that are in the United States, I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, remember vividly the flood of 1993. And currently, my river gauge, actually closest to me, the crests are forecasted to be within half a foot of the flood of 93, and I personally think it's going to go over. I think we're going to get more rain than expected tomorrow, and I think that's going to bring it over. So we're already getting record flooding, and we haven't even had a tropical cyclone impact to the United States yet. And this record flooding isn't just here. This is all up the coast. This is
basically really the whole Midwest, is really the entire Mississippi basin, honestly, is flooding right now.
That's due,
because of all the rain that's been happening these past 2 weeks from the tornado outbreak.
Especially when you look at places like Arkansas and Oklahoma, and I mean the flooding that happened there over these past couple of weeks has just been insane.
We had a very interesting question here. How would the hotspots on this map shift if a La Nina developed? That is very interesting. I can't give you a full answer without doing some research, but I would imagine that the Caribbean chances would rise. Obviously, I'm not showing you those graphics at the minute. They haven't actually been made. We ought to do that at some point. I would say the chances in Florida would increase. Apart from that, well, Louisiana will probably increase as well, but I don't think there'd be many more changes than that, to be honest, really. So,
going off of
that partially answers your question there.
Going off of what we were talking about earlier, Nathan, about rapid intensification, I just did a little bit of research here, and rapid intensification, I believe, from what I'm reading here at least, is at least a 30 knot or 35 mile per hour increase in 24 hours, or about 40 millibar intensification, or a drop in about 24 hours. And explosive intensification is usually when a hurricane goes from category 1 to 5 in about 24 hours or so.
Yeah, something like that indeed. Again, another question that touches on what we were talking about earlier. Could we see a 2004-like season with major tracks within Ivan and Charlie? That's what we said earlier. Very possible for things like that to happen this year. Whether it's of the same intensity or not remains to be seen. And of course, we don't really know about what the tracks are going to be until the storm actually forms, which is pretty scary in itself, really, that even in 2019 we are, well, the National Hurricane Center are about to, in a couple of years I think, introduce 7-day forecasts for Atlantic hurricanes. We've got as far as 7 days in the 2020s. It's still not a very good lead time when you think about all the computing power that there is, and we still can't come up with great answers when we look towards 14 days, 21 days, or anything like that.
Still, 7 days is a huge achievement, though.
Well, it is, but there's still a very long way to go, and we and people in the community know it. But yeah, it is much better than it used to be. I think.
Yeah, I mean,
when did they? They only did 3 days until around 2003, I think it might have been.
Yeah, probably around that time. I mean, the last 10 years, I mean, it's been crazy. I think I heard a stat that over the past 10 years, so 10 years ago, 2-day forecasts are as accurate as today's 3-day forecasts, or something like that.
Yeah, and I saw some excitement about that 7-day forecast thing. I think that's what the National Hurricane Center are planning to do, or hoping to do, in the next year or two, but I'm not sure whether that will actually happen or not. We'll have to wait and see.
Do they have a 5-day going on right now?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what they do. I mean, even in today's technology, sometimes we don't get it right even. I mean, I remember with Hurricane Joaquin in 2015, like, even like 24 hours out was just a big guess. I mean, that storm granted, it had a really complex steering pattern, but still, we're still a long ways away from accurately forecasting, tropical cyclones in general. Still need to do a lot of research. We're still pretty new to it.
Strat, what are you doing
Yeah.
here?
Oh no.
Well, I
someone,
mean,
someone put me into the call.
I didn't.
Someone
I didn't.
Someone did a call and it put me in. I'm on the train still, guys.
Yeah, I know. You just posted that in the comments section. We know you're on a train. This is Strat, folks. It's the class clown, in case you didn't know.
Okay, that's not true.
For 2019.
That's not true at all.
We have a different one
guys,
every year. Last year it was Marcel. This year it's Strat.
Can't we get over that already? I'm a
Strat
very
the Squirrel.
serious person.
Strat, people are not going to get over it.
Yeah.
You're going to see a flood of banned Strat in your inbox now. That's just after you've
it's
appeared.
been a meme for. It's been a meme for 9 months now, 8 months. Like, can't we get over it?
That's since you start. No, they won't get over, because we've just done Guess the Storm tonight, and that was when Ban Strat first started, when you started showing up terrible Guess the Storm images.
They were good questions.
And you liked it.
Because people had to put lots of effort into getting the answers right.
Yeah, because they were 144p resolution images. All right. The only thing we can make out is like the individual pixels in the image.
No, they were all like 480p plus. They were just random Easter eggs.
No, that's a bold statement. That's a bold statement there.
God damn it!
Anybody that try to disagree is just say Stratbaker in there. Just type Stratbaker if you disagree.
Yeah, have we gotten any new super chats other than the first 3?
Strat.
Yes.
You know, people will do that if they think we're doing a good job. You can't make them do that.
You know,
we appreciate anything that we do appreciate anything that does come in. You know, we spend a lot of time and hours on our productions, and that we receive no external funding for what we do. So if you are feeling generous, that would really help our operations, maybe for years to come.
Yeah, I will say it's been a great presentation. Oh god, there's a little kid yelling right now.
Yeah, I'm hearing that.
It's been a great presentation tonight. Some of the clips I've seen. The tropical weather bulletin was good. The prediction thing was good.
Thank you.
I like the effort that's went. Did you guys hear that kid?
Yeah, we did.
Strat.
Yeah, we did.
Can you turn on your webcam right now so we can see just where you are?
Do we have to?
On the train.
Do we have to?
Strat, I believe.
The guest side.
Stop it, Strat.
I can't believe that we're doing this.
Did you know that there's a town in Connecticut named
I can't help.
Stratford?
Look, we're at one of the stations right now. It's the first stop of the train, and I have like 4 more to go before I get off.
Right, guys. Hashtag find Strat. You better find him out there, folks. You better. We're gonna find Strat, and we're gonna take him to task. Guys, I'm afraid we're out of time.
Have you been to Stratford?
Yes, actually,
I'm sure
plenty of
you have.
times.
Guys,
I'm gonna mute myself because of the kid.
we are out of time. Nelson has just said that Strat ruined the stream, and I'm inclined to agree with him. We're really happy that you could join us tonight for our little hurricane party for the start of the Atlantic hurricane season. Both to everyone who's been watching and everyone who's
Thank you for inviting me.
Shut up. Everyone who's been part of our live event tonight.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
The team room. It's been great. We'll see you again soon. More tropical weather bulletins on the way, as well as lots more animations on the Force 13 channel. There's many ways to get involved. You know where to look, the usual outlets, and you can also find our Discord server as well if you'd like to join that too. It's on the bottom link on our stream right now. So we'll see you soon. Good night from me and from the team. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you again soon. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Hmm.